know that you feel me somehow. You're the closest to heaven that I'll ever be, and I don't wanna go home right now. How you doing?
Back. If you've been injured in an accident that's not your fault and you don't have an attorney, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions and tell you what your case is potentially worth. Pick up the phone, call now.
If you've been in an accident that wasn't your fault, well, your favorite attorney has a message for you. Collision, calamity, catastrophe? Are you innocent, faultless, above reproach? If you want money, you need an attorney. You need a bulldog. But finding one, it's laborious, it's strenuous, it's stupefying. That's why you gotta call the number on your screen now.
To get your own bulldog, call your favorite attorney now.
They'll help you connect to a legal expert. You have questions, they have answers. They know the legalese, the lingo, the jargon, and the argot.
When I got hit by a car, I was confused, confounded, and concerned. But calling left me calm, composed, and comforted. Thanks, your favorite attorney.
They'll even tell you how much money your case could be worth. $300,000, $2 million, $86,491, all sorts of numbers.
Call your favorite attorney now. He'd call you, but he doesn't have your number.
Call 800-513-2164.
Slip and falls, work accidents, car, truck, bus, motorcycle, motorbike, e-bike, tandem bike. These bulldogs will make sure people pay. And if you don't get paid, the attorneys don't get paid, and I don't get paid.
After I was blindsided and sideswiped by a fat tire e-bike towing a skateboarder, I didn't know what to do. But a friend recommended that I call his favorite attorney. And I got results. Now, he's my favorite attorney.
It doesn't matter what kind of vehicle it was. As long as it had an engine and the accident wasn't your fault, call your favorite attorney now.
So I compel you, I implore you, I beseech you to pick up that phone and call now to see what your case could be worth.
To get a windfall, you first need to call.
Thanks.
You're watching the Dove TV, encouraging and informative for Salem, Portland, and the Willamette Valley. Seen on KWVT 17 and these Dove TV affiliates. Good morning. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Well, good morning to you. Happy Monday. Welcome to Jerry's Golden Jamboree. Right?
I thought it was my golden retreat or something.
No. Golden retreat. After the golden tour yesterday.
Oh, man.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
Anyway, good morning to you. Happy Monday. A lot in the news. There always is. The weather is nice.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of goes up and down. Quite the thunderstorm yesterday.
Yeah.
Boy, it huffed and puffed and blew things all around.
We got a little bit of hail over on our side of the neck of the woods. And,
so
yeah.
If you want, let's see. If you want rain, you do two things.
What?
Clean your yard and wash your car.
Does my RV help too?
And yeah. RV. And then all of a sudden, here comes the storm.
You know what?
And all your yard's back to a mess, and you're.
You know what? You had one of those thoughts. We were away from home when everything opened up, and I told Pam, I said, "Oh no, I think the roof vent's open on the RV."
Really?
Oh no.
Oh boy, was it?
Yeah.
It was. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, good morning to you. Happy Monday. A lot going on in the news. We'll get that going for you here in just a moment. Anything special?
Well, May the 4th be with you.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, it is National Star Wars Day. It's obviously just a play on words.
Right.
But May the 4th be with you all day, because that's what we got. There's also Bird Day. And, it's a great time, National Bird Day. It's the spring. We got, birds in migration. They're going up and down the West Coast, well, all over the country. Birds in the South who have wintered are on their way north. We got them all coming through. Sometimes you'll see some birds at this time of the year that you don't normally see as they migrate. Do you like to watch birds?
I do.
Yeah.
I just... You know, I guess we're weird. You know, I could easily belong to the Audubon Society.
Me too. I got the Bible. You know, the Audubon Bird Book.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Well, I let something slip out of my hands years ago. A family set of one of the original Audubon books.
Really?
Yes, and I wasn't paying attention, but anyway, where they actually had the wax paper in front of the painted picture of the bird.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and there was a whole set of them, but this would have been early on. They've added some more species since then. But anyway, yes, birds. I think one of the most beautiful things you can experience or watch is either a mallard or a wood duck come in for a landing, or a Canadian goose or a snow goose come in for a landing.
Okay, yeah, I love it.
You ever watch them come in for a landing?
Oh, yes.
And if you can put some classical music to it.
Oh, you know what?
It is just beautiful.
You know what? There's a great relaxation loop. You just put a loop of mellow music like that, and then, you know, just birds coming in. These guys coming in for a landing.
Well, these guys come in. I watched this wood duck the other day come in, and I thought, well, when are you going to put the gear down? And then here comes the feet. And
oh, yeah. Oh, it's wonderful.
It's beautiful.
Yep. All right. Well, in fact, we'll bring it up later, but it sounds like there was a pilot that could have used a little guidance overnight in that regard. Did you hear about the plane coming in? And I think it was Newark. Clipped a truck and a pole before he landed.
Oh, well, that's not a good deal.
Dropped part of his landing gear.
Oh,
yes, and still
he's below minimums.
Ding, 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 ding. Oh, there's going to be a little investigation going on. I think. Anyway, I digress.
Was talking in the cockpit.
Yeah, that must have been a startling discovery. Anyways, if you're going out looking at birds today on National Bird Day, be careful. Cover up. It is also Melanoma Day.
Oh,
yes, reducing melanoma diagnosis is a very, very important part. Get covered up. You know, a lot of clothing these days, especially fishing and golf clothing, are all UV protected.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
There's a real swing in that. You go to Orvis catalog.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, pay a little more.
You pay for the name, but you're getting good stuff.
You know, Orvis, Filson, whatever. You know, fill in the blank. You just pay a little bit more for it.
There you go.
All right. It's also National Candied Orange Peel Day. I have no idea why. Chefs and bakers like using them to add bright flavor to their dishes as well as beautify garnishes. And it all comes from the oranges because it's also National Orange Juice Day. So we're using all of the orange, recognizing America's most popular breakfast drink.
Yep.
And, you know, I'm getting these weird things online where there's this doctor saying orange juice isn't good for you. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Tell that doctor to jump in.
It's all natural. It's full of vitamin C. It's got natural sugars in it. No refined sugar. Come on.
Remember when oatmeal was bad?
You know what? The same doctor says oatmeal is bad. I'm not kidding you.
Well, get rid of that guy.
And the blueberries I put on top, he said are bad. I know.
Is that guy that's...
It's that guy. He's selling his own special powder.
Okay.
Sorry. Also, it is national. And the last thing today, and this encompasses a whole bunch of people, it is National Weather Observers Day.
Oh, well, there you go.
And I got all this great, look at this. This is weather observation videos. That's the thing these days, is that I was going to do video on storm chasers, because storm chasers are the ultimate, weather observers.
Yeah.
But you know what? Everybody's got cameras everywhere these days.
You do.
So we're looking at all these weather observations, and it is stunning, some of the stuff that you watch.
Well, weather is fascinating.
It is.
I could have easily gone into meteorology. I so enjoyed it when I was going to pilot school. In those days, we actually had to learn how to read charts. Today, you have to learn how to look it up on a computer. But I enjoyed it. I really did. That's why I had fun with Leon and Scott Lewis. Those two guys,
yeah. Well, you kind of ribbed your current weather guy, too, a little bit. But anyway, that's another case.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, but what? No. I'm a weather observer. That's it.
Yeah, no, you're a reporter.
I comment on it. I give some details on it. But you know the sad thing about weather today? As fascinating and as interesting as it is, weather has turned political, like everything else.
Yeah, I know.
It's sad.
I know. We cause all the weather problems.
I know.
I know. We're bad people.
We are bad. You quit mowing your yard, would you please?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I got.
Well, here's Pam's definition of a tornado.
A look at our forecast from Grange Co-op. At the top of our region, from Vancouver and Portland through Wilsonville and McMinnville, after a warm weekend, temperatures are coming down under sunny skies with high temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Continuing down the Willamette Valley, mostly sunny with highs in the low to mid 70s for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis. Mostly cloudy in Eugene, then gradually becoming sunny with a high near 70. Sunny and breezy today across Central Oregon with high temperatures near 81 in Prineville and mid-70s for Bend and Sun River. Sunny and low 80s for Boise, Idaho with a northwest wind gusting up to 21 miles per hour. Along the Oregon coast, partly sunny in Coos Bay and Port Orford with highs in the low 60s. A slight chance of morning showers from Brookings through Crescent City, California, then partly sunny in mid to upper 50s. In southern Oregon, mostly sunny in Grants Pass and partly sunny in Medford with highs in the mid-70s. Partly sunny with a chance of showers in Ashland and in the Klamath Basin with highs in the low 70s. Into northern California, a chance of showers and thunderstorms in low 70s in Wairika and near 63 in Redding. Also 63 in Chico with showers and a chance of showers, patchy fog in mid-50s in Fort Bragg. In the Bay Area, patchy fog, then a chance of rain in 63 in Santa Rosa, a slight chance of rain in mid-60s for Napa, partly sunny in San Francisco down through San Jose with highs in the mid-60s. For Central California, mostly sunny this morning with a slight chance of showers in spots, then partly cloudy to mostly sunny, highs in the mid to upper 60s from Sacramento through Stockton, Fresno, and Visalia, and low 70s in Bakersfield. A look at your Monday forecast from Grange Co-op.
Hi, a beautiful shot of our valley, a little bit to the northwest there this morning. And, still some clouds left over, you know. Boy, it huffed and puffed yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty wild around here. But anyway, it's still green, looking good out there.
Yeah, looking very good. Well, the trials of life. Oh, my goodness. We would like to avoid them, but you can't. And you know, they can be physical, they can be emotional, and they can be both. But here's a great place to look for some encouragement in this as we listen to Johnny Erickson Tata.
Last week I said to God, Lord, if anyone, you know the awful heavy afflictions that I have been through, but I have needed every single one of those afflictions, all that you've ever given me. Where would I be? Were it not for the awful hardships God has brought my way? And where would you be? Where would we all be without our sufferings? Well, I tell you where we would be. We'd all be spoiled brats. That's what we'd be. Because it's human nature to whine and want an easier life. It's natural to complain and try to, wheedle our way out of our troubles as best we can. But when afflictions back us up against a spiritual wall, and we ain't got nowhere else to go, you gotta yield. And then God prunes us, cuts and carves us out, molds us. He files and sandpapers us and makes us pliable clay, smooth and bendable in the loving hands of the potter. And the same is true for you. You have needed, I realize this is hard to hear, but God knows that you have needed every distressing trial that you've ever had. Psalm 119, verse 71 says, quote, "It was good for me to be afflicted, so that I might learn your decrees." When we learn his decrees and his ways, especially his way with trials, we become the people that he intended us to be. Long before the foundation of the world, before the creation of the world, God designed every affliction with a particular purpose for each believer. That's right, God's been thinking about your afflictions for a long, long time, so you know that you can trust him with them all.
You know, you have to hear Johnny Erickson Tata once in a while.
Oh, yes.
To put your problems into perspective.
Yep.
Hers doesn't go away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good stuff. God bless her.
Very good.
All right, good morning to you. 11 minutes past the hour. Let's take a look at some of the top stories. And I have to tell you, this was absolutely fantastic.
Wasn't this fun, huh?
This is what a horse race should be all about.
Yes.
So
yes.
We're going to pick it up.
Okay.
And here he is, the odds, Golden Temple, 23-1. And he went from
last
position 18.
Yeah, last.
So take a look at this. There he is.
He's already starting to move now down the backside. He was 5 or 6 behind the last horse. Great ground-saving trip by Jose Ortiz. Sometimes when you're that far back, Mike, that everybody makes their decision already, and you're left a lot of open lanes. Now he'll shift him out as he knows he's going to run into trouble if he doesn't, and he takes aim on his brother. And what a tremendous kick by Golden Tempo.
That's a lot of ground to make up in the stretch of the Kentucky Derby. He's 7 or 8 lengths back at the top of the stretch still.
The numbers on how far he ran are going to be amazing, right? Wow. And this is the pedigree of this horse. He has been dead last or second to last in almost every race he's run, but made a charge like this at a moment like this. A historic moment, Nick Luck.
Wow.
Okay, so there's so much to this story.
So, yeah, and I got even more for you.
Okay,
Wait,
all right. So here we go. Here's the second part of the story. Now this is Sherry Duval. She is the first female trainer to win the Kentucky Derby. So he goes from 18 all the way to 1. Okay, next to her is the owner. Now here's another interesting twist to this. And the jockey of Golden Temple, his name was Jose Ortiz.
Ortiz, yes.
Ortiz.
Yes.
And as he crossed the finish line, his brother reached out
and grabbed him
and congratulated him because his brother was number 2.
Right, on the favored horse.
On the favored
Renegade.
horse, Renegade.
Yes.
It just anyway. So So you saw the horse going around the track. Here's what was going on inside the cheering section.
I love it.
And they're off in the Kentucky Derby. Had a great start early for So Happy and Wonder Toward the inside comes Emerging Market as they make their way to the top of the stretch. Further Ado is getting going on the far outside of Commandment. They're both putting in their runs as they arrive into the final furlong. O'Sally is also gaining ground on the far outside as they come to the last 16th of a mile. Jamal Corbin in front. O'Sally and his long shot. Renegade and Golden Tempo. How close is 2. Here's Golden Tempo. Golden Tempo and Cherie Devaux make history in the Kentucky Derby over Renegade at a final time of 2:02.27 seconds.
It's a dream come true. This is the biggest race in the world for me, and I'm just blessed that I get to ride it almost every year, but get to win it is just special. To have my mom and my dad here today is very special. I just wish my grandpa was here, but I know he's looking from heaven. Just very happy that I get my goal, my life dream goal achieved.
Outstanding.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, now he's third generation jockey. That's why he referred to his grandpa. I wish my grandpa was here because he was first, and his dad, and
his brother and him.
And his brother and him. And I got to tell you another part of the story. I was watching a ball game, the Yankees, naturally, on Saturday. And they referred, the Yankees have a phenomenal young rookie pitcher, just came up last week and made his major league debut. His name is Elmer Rodriguez. He's from Puerto Rico. And they were talking about Elmer Rodriguez, how nervous he is. They said because he has 2 first cousins that are jockeys that will be riding in the Kentucky Derby. And they went 1-2. Wow. That's it. In fact, interviewed yesterday, he said he was more nervous yesterday for the Kentucky Derby than he was for his major league debut, and he cried when they came across the finish line. So what a family.
What a family.
Whoa.
It's just it's such a fairy tale story.
It is,
I mean, I thought Secretariat was going to be a movie, but I think this one's going to be a movie.
This is going to be a movie,
You're
right.
Yeah, it's just an amazing thing to watch. And the odds, it was it one?
And they were so
it was 23 to 1.
In fact, both Renegade and Golden Temple were so far off the pace. Yeah. They were, if you watch most of the race, you see the bunch of horses racing. Yeah. You never see Golden Temple. He's so far behind, you don't even, he was 7 lengths behind the trailers at one time.
So you had Renegade and So Happy were the 2 favorites.
Yeah.
And, of course, Renegade came in second. So Happy ended up dropping back quite a ways.
Yeah.
But I have to ask you, horse training being what it is, I mean, for that horse to come from the back to the front, what
a feat. Yeah, amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it was fun.
Right, well, let's get to other things here. The president said even though that they're looking at some kind of a deal with Iran continuing on within the 30 days. Looks like Iran wants to end the war in 30 days. President Trump says the Iran's 14-point proposal doesn't look like a deal. So here we go again. In the meantime, the president is wanting to escort I guess, common ships out of the straits. And I guess we'll see how that goes with Iran already supposedly firing at one of the U.S. ships. So it's very tense over there. I don't know where this is going to go. The president seems to be resolved that, look, there is no deal on this side of no nukes. So we'll see where that goes. Okay. In the meantime, now the president, you know, he took a lot of flack for demolishing the East Wing and putting in the ballroom. Which, since his last attempt at assassination, proves that we need such a building.
Definitely.
You know, so you can have high security and all this and that. Well, he, you know, being the entrepreneur developer that he is, the president plans to reshape parts of Washington, D.C. waterfront, including the East Potomac Golf Course, and proposed what they call the National Garden of American Heroes. And he wants this cleaned up and done before the 250th anniversary. So he is seeking online donations. And the newly formed nonprofit group called the National Garden of American Heroes Foundation is seeking donor support for what is described as two major initiatives, developing the statutory garden and a comprehensive redevelopment and restoration of the East Potomac, which includes the golf course. In other words, clean up the riverfront.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't know it was in bad shape.
I didn't either.
But apparently he wants to get this thing shining pretty good between now and...
So does that mean eliminating the golf course?
No, I think it is probably fixing it and doing some things.
Okay.
I mean, there's a picture of it. I don't know what this all entails, but the development, he just can't keep, you know. I think at the end of the day, they're going to have to bury the president with a hard hat on. You know. You know, that's pretty cool. All right, let's take a look at the satellite image. Here's what's happening weather-wise out there. And oh no, we're done. We're done. Gosh, I got too much going on. My next story. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
You like coffee?
Yeah.
Well, let me. I'll test your flavors in just a moment.
Okay.
When we come back.
All right.
Mom makes everything a little better. This Mother's Day, let her know. At Grange Co-op, we've got beautiful 10-inch hanging baskets for just $29.99. Jumbo annual packs are $5 each when you buy 2 or more, and select denim is 40% off. Plus, join us for our free Paint-A-Pot event Saturday, May 9th from 10 to 2. Find more deals at GrangeCoop.com or just scan the QR code. Grange Co-op, your Mother's Day destination, now through May 10th.
When life feels heavy, your body feels it, your mind feels it. That is why I created Organic Elements Wellness Spa, a place where wellness is not a luxury, it's a way of life. Step into our wellness lounge with a Himalayan salt room, infrared sauna, steam room, and invigorating cold plunge. Restore your nervous system, detox your body, and clear your mind. Then experience customized massage, advanced skin therapies, and result-driven facials, all designed to help you look as good as you feel. There's nothing else like this in Southern Oregon. This is your space to heal, to reset, to glow. Call today to book your private wellness party for up to 15 guests or surprise someone special with a gift certificate.
Visit Organic Elements Wellness Spa on East Main Street in Medford. Book online at organicelementspa.com. Wellness is wholeness. Voted best of Southern Oregon. Have you seen Mornings on the Dove?
Something has happened to our country here where we're glorifying assassinations and killings and killing babies, and we're glorifying taking God's creation and turning it upside down and throwing it on its head, where a boy can become a girl and a girl become a boy. I mean, the whole thing. At what point are you going to wake up and realize that we are fighting something that's spiritual?
News with a little bit of common sense. Mornings on the Dove, weekdays 6 to 8 a.m.
All right, good morning to you. 22 minutes past the hour. Well, listen, these big blue states, ourselves included, ours included, they just love taxes. They're addicted to taxes. I don't know, is there a tax addiction recovery center for liberal politicians?
Oh, boy, what a concept.
You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, as you know, in California, they have the wealth tax is going to be on the ballot. Just waiting to see what happens. And so is Seattle.
Yeah.
And the Seattle mayor up there, Katie Wilson, she was 9 days into her office, and she joined the Starbucks baristas in a picket line and pledged to boycott the coffee conglomerate until the union got its way.
Right.
Well, guess what Starbucks did? Starbucks says, have a nice day, we're out of town.
Right. Schultz
closed it up, and they moved it, and they're moving it to Nashville.
Yeah.
And with it, 2,000 jobs leave the city.
Right. And Schultz, the owner, and his wife moved to Florida.
There you go.
Yeah. Yep. They're gone. And did you hear her response? Did you hear her response? She was like, if they want to leave, she did the same thing that Governor Kathy Hochul did.
Yeah.
Okay, bye, see ya, until they leave and they realize the revenues they just lost.
Well, look, I guess these social cities have to go through what they're going through.
Yeah.
I don't know how she get the message. When you have people who, excuse me, use capitalism to give other people jobs, and you need to understand that, and they don't. You know what I think politics has become?
What?
Get elected to a position so you can make a lot of money and do what you want to do and have a big party. I mean, the whole idea of public service is completely gone.
Well, she's so out of touch with reality. You know, she lived, her parents supported her and helped take care of the daycare for the kids while she did her little political activities and ran for mayor. So she's used to living on other people's money.
So I guess the question is, what's it going to take? Is Seattle going to allow itself to go the way of Portland?
I think they already have. Is
Seattle going to allow itself to go the way of San Francisco?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Yep, they're doing it right now.
It's really bad.
Yep.
Okay. On the other side of things, as you know, we're moving into a season. Is it going to be a drought summer? They're preparing for it to be.
Okay.
The lakes are full, but no snow in the hills to run off. So that's the problem.
Yeah.
The Oregon State Fire Marshal was awarded nearly $6 million in grants to 180 local fire agencies to boost wildfire response staffing ahead of the upcoming season. So they have 180 agencies that could receive around $35,000 to $40,000 for extra firefighters if they need it. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot of money for an agency, but it could mean the difference between another crew on the line. You know? So they're gearing up for what could be another fire season. Who knows? What is, quite frankly, I want to say this respectfully, but what's left to burn?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you take Northern California, at the Oregon border, all down through there, Highway 96 and all that. Gosh, it's just, you know, and parts of Oregon, you just kind of wonder, okay, what are we going to do here?
Yeah.
But I will say one thing. Last fire season, they seemed to get on it faster.
It really did seem to be.
There seems to be an attitude change.
Yes.
We no longer manage them. We actually go out and fire.
Right. And we had a good summer last summer.
And we had a good summer last summer.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. You know, pray that we just don't. But, you know, yesterday was a subtle reminder that you get hot weather with moisture in the air and you get a thunderstorm.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's kind of what happened.
Yep.
All right. So there we go. Let's take a look at the satellite image to let you know what's happening now. Pretty nice.
I see lots of sunshine out there. Very pleasant temperatures. We're looking at mid to upper 70s for the next couple days and then into the low 80s. And so lots of 70s and 80s through the week. Sunshine on and off. A few clouds here and there. But you're talking about a drought? that kind of looks like how it sets up.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, we're typically very dry in the summer anyway.
Yeah.
So it's hard to distinguish what a drought summer is because we rarely get any rain in the summer.
Well, they did the first flushing of the irrigation ditches this week.
Okay.
So they send some water down the ditch. Not full, but enough to kind of clean it out.
Okay.
And then they walk it and check it all out. And then as I drove over it this morning, there was water in there in the ditch again. So there they go.
All right. Well, this is interesting. We have seen how Hezbollah and Hamas use hospitals to their advantage. And we are kind of appalled at this because they put, lives who are, sometimes fighting for life, but people who are, getting care in hospitals, and they're used them on the front line. Well, this is interesting what's happening here, and I didn't realize this, as former federal prosecutor Jonathan Fahey joined Fox and Friends, and he discusses anti-ICE protesters clashing with agents outside of a Brooklyn hospital.
I think with this, we are back to the tactics of subversion, right? Because you notice that the DHS shutdown ended, and now we're back to another one of these instances. And this person that these protesters, or quote-unquote protesters, were trying to protect, he had a prior, I think, arrest or conviction for assault, a prior drug offense, and tried to run over the ICE agents, and this is a person that they're trying to protect. It's really shameful. Mondami's shameful. He has no right to set his own immigration law. And then you go to the Hochul, the new laws, which incidentally are unconstitutional, and I'd love it if somebody were to ask her how they would seek to enforce these laws limiting ICE in their state, because they are clearly a violation of the Supremacy Clause. But again, it's just performative politics over public safety that we've seen time and again. And unfortunately, the citizens of New York, and like you said, the people at that hospital there could have been some emergency. Somebody could have been harmed or killed because of their antics. It's so shameful.
Yeah, but it's also part of their tactics.
It's part of their tactics, yeah.
And if they create the chaos, blame you for it, and then when you bring in you bring in law and order, they're going to blame you for being a dictator.
Right. And then, we kind of look at like hospitals and churches as they should be off limits. Not to the left, is it?
Nothing's off limits.
Right. Right.
They're their exception to every rule, including their own.
Yeah, oh, boy. Well said. Yes.
29 minutes past the hour. What do we have today? Orange juice.
Yeah. do we have anything?
Isn't there an old-fashioned orange juice jingle out there? Wasn't there an orange juice?
Oh, yeah. You know what? I don't know.
I thought there was a Florida orange juice jingle.
That would remember Anita Bryant.
Maybe I got up late this morning. I don't know. We'll go look for it. We'll be right back.
Combining your home and auto insurance could save you time and money. And who doesn't like that? Want surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life? Now's the time to call State Farm agent Rory Wold in Medford.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of His care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and coworkers with integrity and genuine care. That's why McKelly's is automotive service with a heart for God and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond, but that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
theDove TV is pleased to announce we're now seen in the Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto area via a new full-power TV station, KEDS, seen on cable, satellite TV, and over the air. theDove TV, encouraging and informative for the Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto area on new full-power KEDS TV.
All right, welcome back. Happy, what is today? Today is Monday.
Yeah.
Happy Monday.
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you. I need one of those little laser things.
Yeah, a lightsaber?
A lightsaber.
I can't. Oh, I can only imagine what would happen around here if you had a lightsaber. Oh, gosh.
Well, the first thing I do is I'd be able to wake people up around. Zap them with that thing.
That would be good.
All right, good morning to you. All right, may the 4th be with you. 28 before the hour. Let's check in with CBN News and get the latest from Israel and Iran.
President Trump praised the naval blockade in the Strait of Hormuz.
The blockade is genius, okay? The blockade has been 100% foolproof. It shows how good our Navy is, I can tell you that. Nobody's going to play games.
He says negotiations are continuing with Iran by telephone, and he doesn't know if another round of fighting will be necessary.
They've come a long way. The question is whether or not they're going to go far enough. So at this moment, there will never be a deal unless they agree that there will be no nuclear weapons.
However, there are reports that CENTCOM will brief the president on potential short and powerful strikes on Iran, as well as a plan to take over parts of the Strait of Hormuz to open it to commercial shipping. The Pentagon says the war is estimated to cost $25 billion so far, mostly in munitions.
President Trump, unlike other presidents, has had the courage to ensure Iran never gets a nuclear weapon, and he's ironclad in that.
Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth defended the war at a House Armed Services Committee hearing against accusations from Democrats that the U.S. has been drawn into a quagmire.
Don't say I support the troops on one hand and then a 2-month mission is a quagmire. That's a false equivalation. Who are you cheering for here? Who are you pulling for? Our troops are doing incredible work. They've done incredible things for the entirety of this mission and achieved incredible battlefield successes.
Meanwhile, the aircraft carrier USS Gerald R. Ford reportedly is due to leave the Red Sea and set sail for home soon. The ship has been deployed for more than 300 days, including operations in Venezuela and Iran. The move represents a significant loss of firepower in the Middle East at a time when tensions are still high. In London, another sign of growing anti-Semitism in the United Kingdom. The Metropolitan Police said that a stabbing attack of 2 Jewish men in a Jewish neighborhood has now formally been declared a terrorist incident.
There's been a series of incidents over the last 4 or 5 weeks. An attack against an ambulance, Jewish charity, 2 or 3 attacks against Jewish synagogues. But today's somewhat worse because it's a physical attack against 2 human beings. So it's a completely different ball game at the moment. So, you know, it's much worse.
Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
As the Trump administration faces the 60-day deadline for congressional approval of the Iran war, officials argue the pause in hostilities buys more time. Testifying before the Senate Thursday, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said the negotiations stopped the ticking clock.
We are in a ceasefire right now, which our understanding means the 60-day clock pauses or stops in a ceasefire.
Democrats disagree with that interpretation, but lack enough Republican support in Congress to take action. Hegseth said some lawmakers pose a bigger obstacle to success than Iran.
Unfortunately, as I said yesterday, and I'll say it again today, the biggest adversary we face at this point are the reckless naysayers and defeatist words of congressional Democrats and some Republicans. Defeatists from the cheap seats who 2 months in seek to undermine the incredible efforts that have been undertaken and the historic nature of taking on a 47-year threat.
Meanwhile, the president says Iran is seeking a deal.
I mean, Iran is dying to make a deal. I can only tell you that. I don't want to get into it, but They cannot be nuclear. They want to make a deal badly. We have a problem because nobody knows for sure who the leaders are. It's a little bit of a problem, you know. The leaders have been wiped out along with their military.
Iran's supreme leader is vowing to protect the country's nuclear and missile capabilities. Pakistan says it continues to facilitate indirect talks between Washington and Tehran. Despite the ongoing talks and the deadline, there is concern the hostilities could resume as early as next week. Israel is increasing its military readiness as U.S. Central Command Chief Admiral Brad Cooper briefs President Trump on potential military action against Iran. Options reportedly include a short and powerful series of strikes targeting Iranian sites, aimed at increasing pressure on Tehran in ongoing negotiations, as well as possible operations involving the Strait of Hormuz and Special Forces missions targeting enriched uranium. Joshua Swanson, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Well, there you go. Got a lot of deadlines coming. You got the 60-day one, you got the 30-day one, you got a ceasefire. Now they want to negotiate. And
okay.
What do you do?
Let me ask you, with your expertise in this, does a ceasefire constitute a stopping of the 60-day clock?
I don't know.
Come on, man.
I don't know. All I know is anytime they stop fighting, it's a chance to reload.
Well, that is true.
That's all I get out of it.
That's
and
true.
I don't know why we are not dealing with the obvious. And the obvious seems to be that Iran doesn't want to give up the nukes, and the Trump administration doesn't want to end the war until the nukes are eliminated. I don't know where this is going to go. The Straits thing is now beyond my...
Yep.
It seems to me if we can enforce a blockade, why can't we go in there and finish the job? So there must be some more dynamics we don't know. And you know who's so interestingly left out of the equation?
Who?
Israel.
Oh.
You don't hear about Israel doing it. I mean, they're doing things, but we don't know what it is. Of course, they're trying to deal with Hezbollah up in Lebanon. Apparently, they're in a 2-week ceasefire peace deal going on.
Yeah, well,
the twists and turns of the Middle East. All right, so we'll keep you posted on that. All right, let's go back to Golden Tornado right here.
A look at our forecast from Grange Co-op. At the top of our region, from Vancouver and Portland through Wilsonville and McMinnville, after a warm weekend, temperatures are coming down under sunny skies with high temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Continuing down the Willamette Valley, mostly sunny with highs in the low to mid 70s for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis. Mostly cloudy in Eugene, then gradually becoming sunny with a high near 70. Sunny and breezy today across Central Oregon with high temperatures near 81 in Prineville and mid 70s for Bend and Sun River. Sunny and low 80s for Boise, Idaho with a northwest wind gusting up to 21 miles per hour. Along the Oregon coast, partly sunny in Coos Bay and Port Orford with highs in the low 60s. A slight chance of morning showers from Brookings through Crescent City, California, then partly sunny in mid to upper 50s. In southern Oregon, mostly sunny in Grants Pass and partly sunny in Medford with highs in the mid-70s. Partly sunny with a chance of showers in Ashland and in the Klamath Basin with highs in the low 70s. Into Northern California, a chance of showers and thunderstorms in low 70s in Wairika and near 63 in Redding. Also 63 in Chico with showers and a chance of showers, patchy fog in mid-50s in Fort Bragg. In the Bay Area, patchy fog, then a chance of rain in 63 in Santa Rosa. A slight chance of rain in mid-60s for Napa. Partly sunny in San Francisco, down through San Jose with highs in the mid-60s. For Central California, mostly sunny this morning with a slight chance of showers in spots, then partly cloudy to mostly sunny. Highs in the mid to upper 60s from Sacramento through Stockton, Fresno, and Visalia, and low 70s in Bakersfield. A look at your Monday forecast from Grange Co-op.
We look back on this Monday morning, and today we look at 1959 as music history took center stage at the very first Grammy Awards. And while some of the biggest names in music were nominated, the night didn't go quite as expected. Frank Sinatra led the way with multiple nominations, including Album of the Year, Record of the Year, and Best Vocal Performance for the song Come Fly With Me.
Come fly with me, we'll float down to Peru. In Llama Land, there's a one-man band, and he'll toot his flute for you.
But when the awards were handed out, Sinatra walked away with just one win for album cover art. Meanwhile, the night belonged to an unlikely group. No, the Beatles hadn't hit yet. It was the Chipmunks. Yes, the Chipmunks took home 3 awards for their novelty hit, the Chipmunk Song.
Christmas, Christmas time is near. Time for toys and time for cheer.
Yep, those high-pitched, squeaky voices beat out some of the biggest names in music. It was a surprising start for what would become the music industry's biggest night. Proof that at the Grammys, you never quite know who's going to steal the show.
Boy, that's kind of like the Golden Tour.
Isn't that amazing?
The Golden Tour of music.
Yes.
Gosh, I forgot all
I had
about
no
it.
idea, yes. I remember the Chipmunk song. Yeah, we were kids. We loved that thing. But it beat out Frank. Oh, my goodness.
Frank can Come Fly With Me?
Come Fly With Me. Now,
which in itself is iconic.
It really is. Now, here's a trivia question about Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra, on his gravestone, has the title of one of his songs as his epitaph. On his...
Come Fly With Me?
No. What's a song that most people might think, I Did It My Way?
Oh, I did. Okay, or San Francisco.
No, well...
Or I Did It My Way.
I Did It My Way, right. My way. Nope. You know what it was? Frank really got in touch with his faith side later in his life.
Oh.
He really did. He grew up Catholic, had kind of moved away from his faith after the death of his mother in a tragic plane crash. He got back in touch with his faith, and on his gravestone it says, "The best is yet to come."
Wow.
How about that?
Oh, Frank.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, he did have a good voice.
Yeah, he did.
Well, he's part of the Rat Pack, wasn't he?
He was. He was like the King Rat, I think.
King Rat. Oh, there's a title.
Yeah.
All right, good morning to you. Samuel Parkinson from Crossway answers the question, if God doesn't need us, why did he create us?
This question helpfully reorients our expectations for our relationship with God. It's easy for us to flatter ourselves when we think about our relationship with God, because we tend to think that our relationship with God works very similarly to our relationship with other people, where I am affected by other people and I affect other people. There is this mutual kind of push-pull thing going on with relationships with other humans. And it can be very easy for us to imagine that my relationship with God works very similarly. I affect him, he affects me, in that kind of mutually impactful way. Well, the doctrine of divine aseity contradicts that way of thinking and says God is not dependent on us in any way whatsoever. We are pure beneficiaries. We simply receive from God. He is pure benefactor. We are pure beneficiaries. And sometimes that can rub people the wrong way, because it doesn't pamper our self-flattery, but it's actually very good, because it means that God is not forced to create. He's not creating because he is enriched in any way whatsoever. God is not benefited by creating and redeeming and glorifying his people. So the reason why that is good news for us is it means that God created out of the pure freedom of his own generous love. Pure generosity is at full display in God's creation and redemption and glorification of his creation. So he didn't create because he needs us. We need him. He does not need us. He's not enriched by us, but he enriches us. And that is good news for us.
Wow.
Yeah, should humble us.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a, let's see, what do we have here? We have orange juice and...
orange peels. That's all we have.
Orange peel?
Yeah. Yeah.
We didn't have anything substitute?
Nothing. Fill in the blank. What do you feel like?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Okay, we'll check it out. We'll be right back.
All right.
To all our moms of all ages, a very happy Mother's Day from the Dove TV.
Bah, humbug! And don't do what I did. Go to Father and Son Jewelry.
At Father & Son Jewelry, you'll save 50% off all Black Hills gold. Diamond earrings starting at $49.99. Silver, 50% off. All in-stock gold hoops and pearls, 50% off. 1/3 off all our engagement sets. Prices so low, even Scrooge would approve.
God bless us, one and all.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Over time, every wall tells a story, but sometimes those stories need a fresh start. At Chris Silva Painting, we specialize in transforming indoor spaces, whether it's your family home or your business workspace. With premium paints, flexible scheduling, and expert attention to detail, we make the process simple and stress-free so you can focus on what matters most, living and working in a space you love. From bold new colors to subtle tones of sophistication, let Chris Silva Painting bring your vision to life, one wall at a time. Chris and his crew are courteous. They're efficient, organized, timely, and clean. Chris Silva Painting also offers military discounts. At Chris Silva Painting, our mission statement is to bring Christ's heart and principles to our customers and our job sites. We do that with honesty, integrity, and hard work. We don't cut corners, we paint them. CCB number 176097. Chris Silva Painting, 541-890-3960. 541-890-3960.
Okay, welcome back. This is actually the beginning of a significant week. Coming up Thursday is the National Day of Prayer. That is on the 7th. On the 17th will be a day of prayer and worship in Washington, D.C., of which the president and a team of people will be rededicating the United States to be one nation under God. This is amazing. All of this has been preceded by 2 weeks ago, where they read the book, the entire Bible from Genesis to Revelation, over a period of a week with 500 key Christian leaders and faith leaders across the country. So I asked Troy Miller about this. He is the president and CEO of the National Religious Broadcasters, what he thinks and where this is heading. Here's what he had to say.
It's amazing that's happening in America. I was privileged to be a part of the Read the Bible. I had Hebrews chapters 8, 9, and 10, some of my favorite in the Bible. And what a great event. What a thing. Not only the president, but multiple cabinet members, members of the House of Congress, senators, business leaders, proclaiming God's word over our country and really around the globe. And then, as you said, this coming week up, we'll be in the Capitol building for the National Day of Prayer. There's just, at this time, it seems like this administration understands that how important the Christian foundation is to the fabric of this country. It's the foundation of our democracy, of our republic. Without it, as John Adams said, the Constitution is wholly inadequate, right, to govern an irreligious and immoral people. So look, we're praying for this. We'd ask everybody else to be praying for this. And if you have a chance, come join us all on the Mall on May 17th for the rededication.
It's going to be a big deal, and this kind of kicks off the celebration right up through until July 4th, 250th birthday of the United States.
Yeah.
So I remember when I got to go to the bicentennial celebration of the Constitution.
Okay.
And that was really something. That was my first visit to the White House.
Oh, really?
Under President Reagan.
Oh.
And got to meet Chief Justice Warren at the time. And he kind of led all that. It was really kind of interesting.
Wow.
I have a stack of stuff at home, all from the bicentennial celebration of the Constitution, which is, came after the Declaration of Independence.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Pretty interesting. All right, where's that all going? It's talking about, who do we have here? Oh, Brent Ducey's with us. All right, we'll talk to him. And Robert Joseph will be with us, Special Envoy for Nuclear Non-Proliferation. No nukes?
Oh, yeah.
So I guess we have to ask one simple little question.
What?
This is a simple little question.
Okay.
Why does Iran want a nuke?
Oh, they say it's for domestic power sources. They need to bolster their infrastructure and create more energy opportunities for their citizens, right?
Okay. So what have they done to prepare for nuclear usage of power?
I don't know, but I do know that they are refining uranium past the grade of what they need for usage for the populace. Okay. They are developing weapons-grade uranium.
Okay, you answered the question.
Okay.
We'll talk to big people about that.
Okay.
You and our little people.
Okay. All right. Well, I got a good one. In Boston, Massachusetts, a routine run turned into a life-or-death rescue along the Charles River.
Hans Negrath was out with his 2-year-old dog, a golden doodle named Benny, when the pup suddenly chased after some geese and leapt into the water. With the river near 40 degrees, Benny quickly got into trouble. Negrath didn't hesitate. He jumped in after him. But within minutes, the freezing water began to take its toll. He said, "I couldn't move my arms. I thought I was going to drown." Still, he kept going, pushing Benny toward safety, refusing to give up. As both struggled, bystanders rushed in, pulling the dog to shore, then helping Negrath out of the icy water. Remarkably, both survived. Looking back, Negrath says fear took over, and he wishes he had called for help first. But in that moment, there was only one thing on his mind: saving family. And as for Benny, on the walk home, he was ready to chase geese all over again.
A golden doodle. Wait a minute. I don't know about this.
Well, okay, so you've had a lot of. Are you down to one now?
I'm down to one.
But you had at one time you had 4.
Yeah, we've had 3 and 4. 3 is real common around my house, but dogs, unfortunately, they grow old too.
They grow old.
Yes,
they go the way of broken legs.
Yeah, but so we're down to one right now, and he's kind of hobbled because he just had he had a little amputation on one of his right paws. Yes.
Okay, so you ever have a dog chase something and not come back?
Yeah, we did. I think we had one dog chase something and never returned.
Really?
Never returned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, in the woods during a snowstorm.
Really?
Yes.
You never found him?
Never found him. That was sad. And unfortunately, it was a her. And she was really a good dog. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Dogs get a little stubborn,
Well, they can, yeah. Yes.
So, anyway, ours will chase something, and you have to go down there and get her and bring her back. But when I was a kid, we had my dad picked up 2 black labs, puppies, and brought them home. I'll never forget it. Mm-hmm. And we had gotten. We were sitting we had a little TV room when TV was still black and white. And we were watching Peter Pan.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Uh-huh. And we ended up naming those dogs Peter and Pan.
No way. All right. Okay. No kidding.
So that was Peter and Pan. Uh-huh. Well, they took off and chased something.
Oh, no.
And we couldn't find them for the longest time.
Okay.
Okay. And I mean, it was like weeks and months. So we thought we lost them.
Really?
Yeah. And all of a sudden, one come crawling up out of the irrigation ditch. The ditch was empty, and come crawling up out of the irrigation ditch, and the other one was still down in there. They'd both have been shot by somebody.
Oh, no.
By a shotgun. And they rolled them off the road and rolled them down.
No way.
And they survived, and we took them to the vet, and they survived.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And they laid there, and when it rained, they would lick the water. It was a miracle, really. Well, they were skinny, but they made it.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
First of all, what is wrong with people shooting dogs?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it was one of those country grown-up moments you kind of go, whoa, what's going on here,
Yeah.
But that's the way things were in the country.
We had a cattle dog named Dewey. He went over to a neighbor and cornered one of his calves, and the rancher put a bullet over his back, and creased him, and then he came up and he said, next time I'm going to kill him.
Oh no!
I went, okay, I get it. That's real estate. That's property.
That's
So, but Dewey never went back.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, well, so much for cowboy stories. This kind of goes with the story. 1 Thessalonians 5:18, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you.
Amen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even for a roaming dog.
Amen.
Be right back.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegateRV.com.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary, sunlit interiors meet old-world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare, where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living. Your home.
Once again, our very own Dove TV was recognized for excellence by the National Religious Broadcasters with the prestigious Station of the Year Award for 2026.
And this year's recipient of TV Station of the Year Award is Dove TV.
This makes 9 times the Dove has been honored by our peers with this celebrated national award. We're grateful, and another reason to stay encouraged and informed by watching and supporting the Dove TV. To all our mothers of all ages, a happy Mother's Day from the Dove TV, encouraging and informative. Good morning. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Well, good morning to you. Happy Monday. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove. Right here. This is where Jerry gets his kicks. And soon he'll be able to kick again.
Yeah, oh, boy. Maybe not as hard as I used to, but yeah, I'm hoping.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Good morning to you. A lot going on in the news. Beautiful weather out there. Yeah. Coming off of, an interesting evening. I mean, we had a thunderstorm come through the valley yesterday afternoon. Huffed and puffed and blew things around.
Yeah, and it was weird because there was lightning on both sides of us. I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah, it's like 2 thunderstorms were fighting at each other.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So anyway, but that's past now. We got a beautiful sunny day out there. A lot going on. What's up?
Well, may the 4th be with you.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it is National Star Wars Day, and of course, a day that was put around a slogan. May the 4th be with you. This is a good day for it. It's also Bird Day, National Bird Day. And if you're a bird watcher, this is the season that, well, spring and fall both, because you have migrating birds going up and down the coasts. And we have lots of birds who have been wintering to the south of us who are on their way back north. And it's an interesting time. Do you have any feeders anywhere?
It's interesting you say that. I quit feeding through the winter so the birds will migrate.
Yeah.
So I went and got a bag of seed and put it in, and the little guys are coming back. But it's also a trap for me.
Why?
Because the woodpeckers go there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, woodpeckers.
Woodpeckers.
Yeah.
Interesting little birds.
Yeah, yes. And we've mentioned this before, but I quit putting out seeds because we got a lot of glass around in our house. And I've had some really nice folks who have sent me tips and actually even the decals that you use and stuff like that. But I just had to give up. It's just too much glass, too many birds hitting it. And then the cat learns what the thump means.
Oh, yeah. Cat bait.
Cat bait, that's right.
We've had them hit our windows too.
Oh, gosh.
But I think there is nothing more beautiful, really, in watching a wood duck or a mallard duck or a Canadian goose or a snow goose come in for a landing on water. All you need is some beautiful classical music behind it.
You got it.
And these things come flying around and they put their wings out like that, and they're kind of doing this, they're doing the wing, and then all of a sudden the landing gear comes down right on the water.
I would take that video on that music bed and put it in a loop and just let it play.
It's just
beautiful.
beautiful.
Wouldn't that be wonderful? Yeah. All right. Well, if you're going out to bird watch, be careful because it is also National Melanoma Day.
Ooh.
Cover up. We are learning more and more about the harmful effects of the sun.
Yes.
And it's interesting because you can't live without it, but you got to be careful how you live with it.
Yeah.
And but especially these days, we're getting a lot of clothing, apparel options that have sunblock in them. And a lot of especially a lot of the Columbia fishing shirts and those kinds of things, it's really good stuff.
Right.
So, and not only...
Orvis has a good stuff.
I bet Orvis does. You just have to pay a little more for Orvis. Orvis or Filson or whatever you feel.
Filson, you got Orvis, you got Columbia. What else you got out there?
Oh, yeah. There are a bunch.
There's a bunch.
Yeah, and whatever's on sale at Costco.
Yeah.
Also, National Candied Orange Peel Day. Chefs and bakers like using them to add bright flavor to dishes as well as beautiful garnish. And, it's natural because today is also National Orange Juice Day, recognizing America's most popular breakfast drink. And packed with vitamin C, brought to you by the Florida Orange Growers Association. Because most juice oranges come out of Florida, the Valencia.
Yeah.
And most of our, the good table oranges come from California. Navels. Yeah. Seedless.
Well, I thought there was an orange juice jingle, but maybe.
Oh, you know what? I didn't get to that. Okay, I'll still look for that. It's also one last thing. A lot of us fall into this category. We celebrate today because it is National Weather Observers Day.
Oh, yeah.
A day for the people who enjoy watching and observing the weather. And of course, storm chasers are the ultimate weather observers, but you don't have to have just a storm chaser to see adverse weather conditions these days. People have cameras up everywhere, doorbell cameras, driving in their cars, walking around with their phones, and boy, do we see some dramatic weather footage. Makes a weatherman happy to see some of these things, but it also shows the destructive power of the weather.
It's Mother Nature.
It is. Yep.
Doing her thing. I don't know. I enjoy weather. When I went to pilot school, you took almost like a whole semester just on weather.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
But in today now, it's all computerized. You can just look on a computer and figure out winds aloft and all that. But boy, when we used to file a flight plan, we had to figure out the winds aloft and all that stuff.
Oh, really?
You don't do that anymore. But I really enjoyed weather, and that's why I enjoyed Leon Hunsaker and Scott Lewis.
Yes.
Work with these guys.
Yes. And weather is fascinating. It's something that, when you have nothing else to talk about, you can talk about weather and baseball. It's a wonderful thing. Yeah. I'm on the phone with my mom and say, well, how's the weather today? It's just part of our conversation.
It is, yeah.
I don't know why.
All right.
It's
here's Pam's Golden Tornado right here.
A look at our forecast from Grange Co-op. At the top of our region from Vancouver and Portland through Wilsonville and McMinnville, after a warm weekend, temperatures are coming down under sunny skies with high temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Continuing down the Willamette Valley, mostly sunny with highs in the low to mid-70s for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis. Mostly cloudy in Eugene, then gradually becoming sunny with a high near 70. Sunny and breezy today across Central Oregon with high temperatures near 81 in Prineville and mid-70s for Bend and Sun River. Sunny and low 80s for Boise, Idaho with a northwest wind gusting up to 21 miles per hour. Along the Oregon coast, partly sunny in Coos Bay and Port Orford with highs in the low 60s. A slight chance of morning showers from Brookings through Crescent City, California, then partly sunny in mid to upper 50s. In southern Oregon, mostly sunny in Grants Pass and partly sunny in Medford with highs in the mid-70s. Partly sunny with a chance of showers in Ashland and in the Klamath Basin with highs in the low 70s. Into Northern California, a chance of showers and thunderstorms in low 70s in Wairika and near 63 in Redding. Also 63 in Chico with showers and a chance of showers, patchy fog in mid-50s in Fort Bragg. In the Bay Area, patchy fog, then a chance of rain in 63 in Santa Rosa. A slight chance of rain in mid-60s for Napa. Partly sunny in San Francisco down through San Jose with highs in the mid-60s. For Central California, mostly sunny this morning with a slight chance of showers in spots, then partly cloudy to mostly sunny. Highs in the mid to upper 60s from Sacramento through Stockton, Fresno, and Visalia, and low 70s in Bakersfield. A look at your Monday forecast from Grange Co-op.
Beautiful shot of our valley this morning, and what a beautiful shot.
That is gorgeous.
Yeah, that's at the top of Mount Baldy, looking to the northeast. That's Mount McLaughlin, better known as Mount Pitt. And the sun came up between the mountain and the clouds. Now it's passing above the clouds. Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful scene this morning. We live in a great place.
Yes, we do.
If you come here, bring all your money and spend it.
I love it. From Southern Oregon Chamber of Commerce. I love it. All right, one thing that we are guaranteed in this life is that we are going to go through trials. The only question is, how do you respond to them? And here's a bit of great encouragement from Johnny Erickson Tata.
Christ died for sins once for all, the righteous for the unrighteous, to bring you to God. That's in 1 Peter chapter 3, and what a priceless gift that is. But like any gift that is unspeakably precious, it must not be trifled with. This gift of salvation cost God his Son, and it should be accepted humbly and gratefully. And so, friend, I implore you to do just that. Say yes to Jesus as your Lord and Savior. God will then clear you of guilt and give you strength to leave behind your old ways and learn to live in a way that honors him. Your life will have purpose and joy and peace. So receive the gift of eternal life in Jesus Christ. For if you refuse God's appeal, you remain stranded and you have no hope. Oh, friend, do not go through life without hope. Bend the knee to Jesus. Do it today and start reading his word, the Bible. Pray to your new Father in heaven and seek out friendships with other believers in Jesus. Get involved in a church where the word of God is preached and salvation in Christ is offered. And then tell others about the man who took the bullet, as it were, for you, and that his love will do the same for them. And when Jesus Christ is crowned King of Kings in heaven, I want you there, standing alongside me. I want you rejoicing with me, dancing and celebrating our wonderful Savior who gave his life for us. Oh, what a glorious day that's going to be. So make sure you're there. Come to Jesus, and I will see you on the other side.
Yeah.
Isn't she amazing?
Yes, she is.
So your former pastor preached at our church Sunday.
Oh, all right.
And he preached on how Jesus dined with the tax collectors.
Yeah.
Okay. Then he explained what a tax collector was.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it somewhat ties into what Johnny is saying there. Let me just ask a broad question. I guess you could say it's a rhetorical question. Do you belong to a church? And if not, why?
Yeah, well.
Are you too good to be involved in a local body of believers? Are you so holy and righteous and pure that nobody's good enough for you?
No.
I realize there are some that can't go because of circumstances.
Right. Well, how about those?
I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about those who claim to know everything but don't go to a church.
Okay. Yeah, but I went to church once and people were mean to me. They weren't really nice to me. Get over it. I like that. Yeah, good answer. Get over it.
Our next ministry is going to we're going to call it Get a Grip Ministries.
Get a grip. Okay.
We're going to deal with the tough issues of life. And basically, get a grip.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously. I think you are in a dangerous zone if you don't belong to a local body. I truly believe that. If you're able and you don't go because, well, I don't like the music, I don't like this person, they don't believe the way I believe, they're not Calvinist, they're not Arminians, they're not this, they're not that. Get over it. You belong. You need to submit yourself to that kind of an environment. And there's things designed to happen in a church that don't happen anywhere else. So if you're able, get over it and belong to a church. Get out there and serve. Go and serve. Give of yourself. Life will change. You will change, and you'll be used of God.
Amen. All right.
Send your letters to him.
Do it. I'll pass them on.
Okay. All right. So much for that. Let's take a look at some of the top stories. Well, I have to tell you, Saturday was really a fairy tale story at the Kentucky Derby. 23-1 long shot odds. Golden Temple comes out of nowhere and wins the Derby. So here is video number 1, where Golden Temple actually now shows up in the picture. They're shot before this. You don't even see the horse.
You're so far behind.
You don't even see the horse.
Yeah.
Here it is.
There he is. Oh my gosh. He's already starting to move now down the backside. He was 5 or 6 behind the last horse. Great ground-saving trip by Jose Ortiz. Sometimes when you're that far back, Mike, that everybody makes their decision already, and you're left a lot of open lanes. Now he'll shift him out as he knows he's going to run into trouble if he doesn't, and he takes aim on his brother. And what a tremendous kick by Golden Tempo.
That's a lot of ground to make up in the stretch of the Kentucky Derby. He's 7 or 8 lengths back at the top of the stretch still.
The numbers on how far he ran are going to be amazing, right? Wow. And this is the pedigree of this horse. He has been dead last or second to last in almost every race he's run, but made a charge like this at a moment like this. A historic moment, Nick Luck.
Well, Golden Tempo wins the
going down neck and neck, jockeys side by side, and they are.
Well, they're brothers. They're brothers,
yes.
which is so interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so here's a little bit of the clip. Now, the trainer was the first female trainer to win the Kentucky Derby. Sherry DeVos, I think her name is. The jockey was Jose Ortiz. His brother rode the horse that came in second place, which was Renegade. And so here is the starting of the race, and then the camera goes to Sherry, the trainer, and watch this. And the owner comes in finally alongside of her. So this is quite a scene here.
And they're off in the Kentucky Derby. And a great start early for So Happy and Wonder Knee. Toward the inside comes Emerging Market as they make their way to the top of the stretch. Further Ado is getting going on the far outside of Commandment. They're both putting in their runs as they arrive into the final furlong. O'Sally is also gaining ground on the far outside as they come to the last 16th of a mile. Jamal Corbin in front. O'Sally the lose one shot. Renegade and Golden Tempo are closing too. Here's Golden Tempo. Golden Tempo and Serena make history in the Kentucky Derby over Renegade at a final time of 2:02.27 seconds.
It's a dream come true. This is the biggest race in the world for me, and I'm just blessed that I get to ride it almost every year, but get to win it. It's just special. To have my mom and my dad here today, it's very special. I just wish my grandpa was here, but I know he's looking from heaven. Just very happy that I get my goal, my life dream goal achieved. And
That was really.
And as they cross the finish line, his brother, who's on Renegade, reaches out and grabs his
they
hand.
hold each other.
I mean, the whole thing is such a fairy tale story. It's everything that a race should be.
Yeah, and
because all the odds were on So Happy and Renegade.
And Renegade, right? He came out of the blue, and he references Grandpa there. He is him and his brother are third generation jockeys in their family, and the first generation was his grandpa and his dad. And another little twist to this story too: the New York Yankees have a brand new pitcher. He made his major league debut last week, and first name, he's from. They're all from Puerto Rico. Okay. And anyway, they were talking about him on Saturday, saying he's all excited because he's got two first cousins that are racing in the Kentucky Derby tomorrow. Wow. And they came in 1-2, and he said that he was more nervous during the Kentucky Derby than he was during his major league debut, as his cousins were racing each other and the rest of the field. And when they came across the line, he broke down in tears. It was amazing. What a family.
I have to tell you, it's everything that a race should be. I know they made a movie out of Secretariat.
Yes.
Okay, I wonder if will Golden Tempo go on Triple Crown?
It's going to be
because it has a history of coming from the back and winning.
Right. And
by the way, it's a big horse.
Yeah. Did you see the biggest horse in the field went down?
Yeah.
Great White. This thing was huge. Yeah. And right as they were getting up to load him up into the chute,
reared up.
And
fell back, and they took him out. And I think that made all the other horses nervous because they had to unload the starting gate.
Yeah.
They had to unload everything, walk everybody around, and then put them back in again.
Right.
Yeah. Look, the whole thing is just...
it's fabulous.
And she was the first female trainer to win. By the way, I said, well, how much did she make? She makes 10% of the initial purse.
Oh, okay.
As the winner. Now, I don't know what the owner gets, and then I don't know what the jockey gets, but I think she got $310,000 for winning the race.
Not bad.
Not bad for a day's work.
All right.
That was kind of exciting to watch.
Very much so.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Couple of other things. Back to some, I guess less important things called Iran. Anyway, Iran's latest proposal to the United States calls for issues between the two countries to be resolved within 30 days to end the war, not pause the war. And the president said Saturday he's reviewing everything that they proposed, and it doesn't look like there's a deal there. The bottom line is they're not going to give up nukes. So what's the president going to do about it? In the meantime, the president is under 60-day pressure. He's under 30-day pressure. He's under high gas price pressure. He's under the Straits of Hormuz pressure. I don't know what you do with all this stuff. Anyway, it doesn't look like that's going to be a deal. In the meantime, the president changes hats and puts the hard hat back on.
Okay.
And he is saying that he wants to do a fundraising effort tied to his plans to reshape parts of the Washington, D.C. waterfront, including the East Potomac Golf Course and the proposed National Garden of American Heroes. What he is saying is a newly formed nonprofit organization entitled the National Garden of American Heroes Foundation is seeking donor support for what's described as two major initiatives: developing the statutory garden and a comprehensive redevelopment and restoration of the East Potomac, and they want it done before the 250th anniversary of coming up on July 4th.
That's right around the corner.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, I don't know what it is. Would you get a bunch of guys out there in bags and clean up the garbage? What do you do?
I don't know.
Wow. Anyway, so that's kind of on the agenda.
Okay.
So there we go. Anyway, those are some of the top stories. Go Golden Tempo.
Yeah.
We're going to see Golden Tempo and the two more, huh?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Quite the story. I just think it was such a fairy tale story, and it stunned everybody.
Yeah.
Because if you look at I think So Happy was like 6-1. Renegade was like 5-1.
Yeah.
Okay, and this one was 23-1.
Yeah, we love an underdog. And especially in a dramatic win. And could there be anything more dramatic than that one?
Coming all the way from
I mean, at one point in time, like you said, he was out of the camera shot. They couldn't even keep him in the camera shot with the other horses. He was like 7 lengths behind the last horse. And it was like, does he have enough gas to get up there? Well,
okay, so in training a horse,
I don't know.
What did she teach that horse to do? What did she train that horse to do to come from behind like that?
That's a great question.
Where's the kick in that?
Yeah, I don't know.
And how fast was that horse going?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I wonder.
Okay.
Yes.
So as they come around, and then they get into a pack, the pack can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. It can slow you down, or you can get trapped in there and you can't get out.
Right.
So he came around. He goes around the outside, or the inside curve, and what's he do? Comes up the outside and takes it.
Yeah, he ran more length than any other horse, I think, in that whole race, because he had to swing wide and go around everybody.
Yes, wow.
Amazing.
All right, those are the top stories. We're gonna take a golden orange break.
Yes, it's Orange Juice Day.
All right, we'll be right back.
Mom makes everything a little better. This Mother's Day, let her know. At Grange Co-op, we've got beautiful 10-inch hanging baskets for just $29.99. Jumbo annual packs are $5 each when you buy 2 or more, and select denim is 40% off. Plus, join us for our free Paint-A-Pot event Saturday, May 9th from 10 to 2. Find more deals at GrangeCoop.com or just scan the QR code. Grange Co-op, your Mother's Day destination, now through May 10th.
The 71.5 Golf Challenge arrives Saturday, May 16th with a 4-person scramble, morning and afternoon shotguns, and a 6:30 award social. Register your team by April 1st for an early bird special. Score the team player pack for just $20 instead of $100 with the code EARLYBIRDIE. Become a sponsor and help kids across Southern Oregon. Visit 715.org or call 541-779-3275. At the 71.5 Golf Challenge, your drive saves lives.
If you don't drive it, donate it. By supporting us, you'll get even more mileage out of it.
Thank you from the Dove TV. Have you seen Mornings on the Dove?
Another attempt on President Trump's life over the weekend. I think they hate this man so much that at any cost, at any excuse, any way, they want him gone. I think the real reason here is that he's taken 60 years of the slow evolution of the democratic stronghold in America with corruption and fraud and the advancement of socialism and turned it upside down.
Wake up to information. Mornings on the Dove, weekdays.
Okay, welcome back. 24 minutes past the hour. A couple backyard news. California is looking at a wealth tax. People are moving out, leaving, moving their assets out, getting out of town. I don't know if that's going to go through, but it's going to be on the ballot. And of course, up in Seattle, they're doing it. I don't know. I mean, this is just crazy. Tax the very people that make jobs. Anyway, the Seattle mayor, Katie Wilson, dismisses the stance on the millionaires relocating, leaving her town like crazy. And basically, she's saying goodbye. And this is after she marched with the people, the baristas from Starbucks, they were marching with their union, demanding the union get what they want. Now, Starbucks, I will say this. You made a mistake when you allow your staff to unionize. You guys kind of brought this on yourself. Okay. But in the meantime, Starbucks has had enough, and they're leaving their hometown. Moving it to Nashville.
And she callously said, see ya. She did. She pulled a Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York. Kathy Hochul basically did the same thing. Said, "Okay, if you rich people want to go and take your business, see ya." And then they did, and she went, "Wait a minute."
Yeah. Well, this is the beginning of the end. I don't know. I guess these towns have to go through this. When those beautiful downtown areas become ghost towns. But anyway, so much for that. They're gone.
Well, and she should know better because, you know, she's been living off of other people's money for a while. Her parents supported her while she ran, and they provided the child care and stuff. So she has kind of got a jaded view of the economy anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it plays out.
In the meantime, are we heading into a bad fire season? We don't know. The Oregon State Fire Marshal, however, announced over the weekend they were awarded $6 million in grants to 180 local fire agencies to boost wildfire response staffing ahead of the upcoming season. Now, a lot of our lakes are full, but we don't have the spring snow runoff.
Right.
That we normally rely on. Yeah. Now, I don't know what's left to burn out there, but boy, I'll tell you, I will say this last season showed that when they got on it, it worked, and they did get on it.
Yeah.
So apparently this could be up to $30,000 to $40,000 per agency, a little extra money, which could mean, you know, another week or so of a fire crew on a line. So that money is going to be available. So that's kind of what's happening there. All right, let's take a look at Wall Street for a Monday morning. Thank you, Preston. He's with Smart Lawn. He's a smart guy, and he has smart product. If you're smart, you'll call him. Like today. All right, the Nas is, the Dow's down 227. The Nas is up 20, well, we'll call it 25 points, and the S&P is off 1.30 points. So, I don't know, kind of a slow start to the day today. Interesting numbers across the board. In the meantime, gold is at 45.73, silver is down to 74, and look at crude oil at 89.89. Now, I don't know, they say that's up. I think Friday it did get to 87.
So
it's back up to 89.
Wow.
What does all that mean?
Wow, yeah.
Has it showed up at the pump yet?
Oh, it never will.
You said it, I didn't. Jerry's phone number is. It's the mystery to me. I've had some of the smartest guys in the world try to explain this to me, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I see it differently.
I'm telling you.
It doesn't make me right. It's just that I'm going, yeah, really.
I'm driving around to restaurants collecting used vegetable oil.
Oh, yeah. Well, I tell you, I've always been a price watcher driving, and there's about 4 places I look at the prices when I come to work in the morning. And I don't know why I do it, but I do. And it's still up over $5 a gallon.
It's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, $6 a gallon for diesel.
There you go.
Oh, man. Well, we have seen in some of the progressive blue cities, we've seen this push to defund the police, to decriminalize certain activities on the street. I think a lot of us think that it's created kind of a revolving door now for criminals going in and out of the system. Well, this seems to be taking it to a new level. As former federal prosecutor Jonathan Fahey joined Fox and Friends First to discuss an outrage over New York bills that could release convicted killers.
Yeah, they always put criminals first, criminals ahead of victims, criminals ahead of police, like we just saw in the last story, and they put the public safety as always secondary to this political agenda. And these bills are really scary if you think about it, because they could release people. They don't even look at their prior record. They just look if somebody at a parole board can decide they're no longer a threat to society. But really what makes these worse, not only these criminals like Son of Sam who killed, I believe, 6 people could be released, but what does that say to other criminals in terms of deterrence, that New York City puts criminals first, doesn't take public safety or law enforcement seriously? So there's a deterrent aspect, not just for murders, but all crimes altogether. Because, you know, I was a prosecutor in Virginia for many years, and criminals wouldn't want to sell drugs in Virginia. That were selling them in D.C. and Maryland because they knew Virginia had the death penalty, meaning not that they would get the death penalty, but because they were concerned Virginia was tough on crime, and they didn't want to tangle with it. So this is bad for New York. It's a disgrace. It's an insult to the victims. The whole thing is horrible. But New York is just, woke, dominates everything.
Okay, well, crazy news is still the news.
It is.
And I think, will these cities, will these states reach an impasse point, where people... I feel sorry for Californians that can't leave. They're trapped. They can't get out of there. They live on a very tight budget, and it's all they can do to now put the extra money in the gas tank to go to work.
True.
I don't understand. It's too bad. At what point does this stuff implode? All right, we'll take a quick orange juice break. I like fresh squeezed orange juice. Yeah.
Then all around the evidence is speaking the truth from the center of my soul.
At Sweet Tea Express, we've got you covered. Order at the counter and our friendly service staff will do the rest. Breakfast served daily until 2 p.m. Breakfast burritos, biscuits and gravy, skillets, omelets, and more. Sweet Tea Express. Don't get caught hungry.
Your yard is where life happens, but it can be muddy and hard to maintain. Enjoy a maintenance-free artificial turf lawn all year round with Smart Lawn LLC. No mowing, no fertilizing, no watering. Our synthetic grass is beautiful and resilient. It's certified to be lead-free and there's no need for pesticides. Safe for your children and pets. Smart Lawn LLC has all your artificial turf and putting green areas covered beautifully. 541-941-3538.
Your property demands equipment with more reliability, durability, and versatility built in. Kubota equipment is ready to get the job done right.
In a time when our culture faces unprecedented challenges,
I want to talk about the role of a Christian even in a hostile culture.
Christian apologist and evangelist Alex McFarland addresses the hard-hitting questions about faith, morality, and culture.
People are hungry for truth, and we've got to rise to the challenge of our assignment as the church.
Know your faith better to be equipped to defend it in a world searching for answers.
But when you put the face of an earthly man on God, then you're never going to understand who God is.
God takes pleasure in you, and the very sight of you is joy and blessing.
Alex McFarland, inspiring believers through apologetics to boldly stand for truth in a critical time. Catch him Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday on the Dove TV, encouraging and informative. More at thedove.us.
All right, how y'all doing out there? All right, good morning to you. 27 minutes before the hour. Well, the president has a plan now to guide ships through the strait, and he's basically saying, you even think about coming after them, we're going to take full measures to stop you. So let's check in with CBN News. They have the latest on that story.
President Donald Trump is signaling the United States will maintain its military force in the region as the war of words with Iran continues.
If we left right now, it would take them 20 years to rebuild. But we're not leaving right now. We're going to do it so nobody has to go back in 2 years or 5 years.
Trump's comments come as his administration prepares a new operation in the Strait of Hormuz, where hundreds of cargo ships and thousands of crew members are stranded due to the ongoing conflict. The president says the U.S. will begin guiding ships through the waterway, calling the effort a humanitarian move requested by other nations as crews begin to run low on food and water. The ship movement is merely meant to free up people, companies, and countries that have done absolutely nothing wrong. They are victims of circumstance, Trump wrote on Truth Social. Details of the plan remain unclear, including whether the U.S. will escort vessels or simply provide navigational guidance. The Associated Press reports the U.S. has created an enhanced security area outside the main shipping routes. U.S. Central Command said Project Freedom will include guided missile destroyers and more than 100 warplanes, but did not provide details on their deployment. Iran is warning against any such action. Iranian Parliament member Ibrahim Azizi said any American interference in the new maritime regime of the Strait of Hormuz will be considered a violation of the ceasefire. At the same time, diplomatic efforts appear stalled. Trump rejected Iran's latest peace proposal, calling it not acceptable, even as both sides continue indirect talks through mediators. Iran refuses to discuss its nuclear program, a red line for the president, and is calling for the war to end in 30 days. U.S. officials maintain the economic pressure on Iran is intensifying. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said the blockade is having a significant impact.
And I can tell you that
We are suffocating the regime, and they are not able to pay their soldiers. This is a real economic blockade, and it is in all parts of government, all hands on deck.
Meanwhile, fighting continues along Israel's northern border, with the Iranian-backed Hezbollah launching attacks despite ceasefire conditions. Hezbollah MP Hassan Fadlallah said the terror group will ignore any agreements that come from peace talks between Lebanon and Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced an expansion of Israel's air force, reinforcing the country's position as a leading military power in the region as fighting continues.
We are acquiring 2 squadrons of modern aircraft, F-35 and F-15IA. Our pilots can reach anywhere in Iranian skies, and they are prepared to do so if required.
Separately, new findings from the USAID Office of Inspector General link additional UNRWA personnel to the October 7th attacks. 4 more staff members are accused of involvement or ties to Hamas, bringing the total number of suspended or disbarred individuals to 21.
And Joshua Swenson joins us now with more. So, Josh, the peace negotiations are dragging on with little result. What's Israel's perspective on the talks? Are they ready to resume the fighting?
Yeah, if you're the state of Israel, given the neighborhood you live in, Ephraim, you are always ready to fight. The IDF is currently on high alert, and the situation remains volatile. We are bracing for possible resumption to the war as early as this week if talks collapse. Defense Minister Katz noted that Israel may soon be required to take action again to eliminate existential threats. And Israel views Iran's stalling as bad faith and prioritizes security over any sort of indefinite truce. Netanyahu says the ceasefire is not the end, but a pause. And his core goals are the same. They are crippling Iran's nuclear program, destroying their missile capabilities, and destroying regional proxies. And he says this must be met by an agreement or by renewing the fighting. So while negotiations may continue through mediators, Israel is preparing for the possibility that fighting could resume if its core security demands are not met.
President Trump is looking to guide ships through the Strait of Hormuz to address humanitarian issues. An Iranian parliament says this is a violation of the ceasefire. How is this considered a violation?
Well, it depends on who you ask. President Trump has framed the effort to guide ships through the Strait of Hormuz as a humanitarian move, right? To help stranded vessels and crews. They're running out of food and water. But from Tehran's perspective, the situation looks very different. Iranian officials believe that they currently control the Strait of Hormuz and view any U.S. Navy presence as a direct challenge to their sovereignty. So Iranian military sources have even threatened to attack U.S. vessels entering the choke point. So officials in Tehran argue that a ceasefire includes the understanding that any outside military forces will not change the current balance of power in the region. Even if the U.S. is not engaging in direct combat, they see escorting or guiding ships through the strait as crossing that line. So in practical terms, Iran still sees the strait as a point of leverage, and any U.S. action that helps reopen or manage that passage could weaken their position.
Well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I think we have to get through this, see if we can get some ships in and out of there without too much conflict. And if there is conflict, I think that probably will ignite a break in the ceasefire and everything else that's going on.
Well, the newest supreme leader has yet to be seen in public, right?
Yes.
So,
yes, right.
Do we even, again, the old question is, do we know that we're even talking to the right people?
Well, see, who do you send to these negotiations?
Yeah.
And who are they representing?
I don't know. Yeah.
Well, here's a guy that's always represented well, kind of, sort of. He always shows up at the peace talks. He doesn't.
A look at our forecast from Grange Co-op. At the top of our region from Vancouver and Portland through Wilsonville and McMinnville, after a warm weekend, temperatures are coming down under sunny skies with high temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Continuing down the Willamette Valley, mostly sunny with highs in the low to mid 70s for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis. Mostly cloudy in Eugene, then gradually becoming sunny with a high near 70. Sunny and breezy today across central Oregon with high temperatures near 81 in Prineville and mid-70s for Bend and Sun River. Sunny and low 80s for Boise, Idaho with a northwest wind gusting up to 21 miles per hour. Along the Oregon coast, partly sunny in Coos Bay and Port Orford with highs in the low 60s. A slight chance of morning showers from Brookings through Crescent City, California, then partly sunny in mid to upper 50s. In southern Oregon, mostly sunny in Grants Pass and partly sunny in Medford with highs in the mid-70s. Partly sunny with a chance of showers in Ashland and in the Klamath Basin with highs in the low 70s. Into Northern California, a chance of showers and thunderstorms in low 70s in Wairika and near 63 in Redding. Also 63 in Chico with showers and a chance of showers, patchy fog in mid-50s in Fort Bragg. In the Bay Area, patchy fog, then a chance of rain in 63 in Santa Rosa. A slight chance of rain in mid-60s for Napa. Partly sunny in San Francisco, down through San Jose with highs in the mid-60s. For Central California, mostly sunny this morning with a slight chance of showers and spots, then partly cloudy to mostly sunny. Highs in the mid to upper 60s from Sacramento through Stockton, Fresno, and Visalia, and low 70s in Bakersfield. A look at your Monday forecast from Grange Co-op.
Oh, it is time to look back in time today to 1959 on this day when music history took center stage at the very first Grammy Awards. And while some of the biggest names in music were nominated, the night didn't go quite as expected. Frank Sinatra led the way with multiple nominations, including Album of the Year, Record of the Year, and Best Vocal Performance for the song Come Fly With Me.
Come fly with me, we'll float down to Peru. In Llama Land, there's a one-man band, and he'll toot his flute for you.
But when the awards were handed out, Sinatra walked away with just one win for album cover art. Meanwhile, the night belonged to an unlikely group. No, the Beatles hadn't hit yet. It was the Chipmunks. Yes, the Chipmunks took home 3 awards for their novelty hit, the Chipmunk Song.
Christmas, Christmas time is near. Time for toys and time for cheer.
Yep, those high-pitched, squeaky voices beat out some of the biggest names in music. It was a surprising start for what would become the music industry's biggest night. Proof that at the Grammys, you never quite know who's going to steal the show. Poor Frank. He thought he was a shoo-in.
The Chipmunks beat Frank?
The Chipmunks and everybody else. An amazing night.
So there's a little trivia here. You shared it last hour.
Oh, yeah. You know, it was interesting, too, because Frank Sinatra has one of his song titles on his gravestone. And you think of all the song titles of Frank Sinatra, what would come to mind that most people, or many people, might think would...
could have come to mind.
Yeah.
Fly away, fly me to the moon.
Fly me to... Or... I did it my way. I did it my way. But no, Frank got in touch with his faith. He grew up a Catholic, and he'd kind of gotten away from his faith in his middle years. After the death of his mom, he got back into his faith in a very strong way. And so when he died, the song title on his gravestone reads, "The best is yet to come."
Oh.
How about that?
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Good stuff all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's a question. If God doesn't need us, why did he create us?
Great question.
So we'll turn to Crossway and one of their apologists, Sam Parkinson, to kind of give us an understanding of this.
This question helpfully reorients our expectations for our relationship with God. It's easy for us to flatter ourselves when we think about our relationship with God, because we tend to think that our relationship with God works very similarly to our relationship with other people, where I am affected by other people and I affect other people. There is this mutual kind of push-pull thing going on with relationships with other humans. And it can be very easy for us to imagine that my relationship with God works very similarly. I affect him, he affects me, in that kind of mutually impactful way. Well, the doctrine of divine aseity contradicts that way of thinking. and says God is not dependent on us in any way whatsoever. We are pure beneficiaries. We simply receive from God. He is pure benefactor. We are pure beneficiaries. And sometimes that can rub people the wrong way because it doesn't pamper our self-flattery, but it's actually very good because it means that God is not forced to create. He's not creating because he is enriched in any way whatsoever. God is not benefited by creating and redeeming and glorifying his people. So the reason why that is good news for us is it means that God created out of the pure freedom of his own generous love. Pure generosity is at full display in God's creation and redemption and glorification of his creation. So he didn't create because he needs us. We need him. He does not need us. He's not enriched by us, but he enriches us. And that is good news for us.
Wow.
Pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, 14 minutes before the hour, we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Would you dare to believe that you still have a reason to sing? 'Cause the pain that you've been feeling, it can't compare to the joy that's coming.
Jerry's Historical Archives. U.S. history. Great moments in time. Record breakers. Our music through the years. Historic leaders. Moments to remember. Go back in time. Back in the day. TV shows of the past. Nostalgia.
It's a wonderful trip down memory lane with fun and interesting stories you might not know about. Relive the past and learn something new.
Open up Jerry's Historical Archives. Weekdays only on Mornings on the Dove.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
All right, 11 minutes before the hour. One of the things that takes place out there that we've been looking at least I have been following pretty closely, is the merger of big tech companies and its impact that it'll have on us. And in particular now, there's a move in this country to have several of the big broadcasters merge. And there's great effort to stop it. And then out of the blue, the FCC kind of gave a thumbs up and said, well, let's go ahead and do this. And it received huge backlash from now, I think we have 7 or 8 state attorney generals filing complaints against this, trying to stop it. And the reason I'm interested in this is because at the end of the day, us small broadcasters would basically be wiped out. If 70 to 80% of the broadcast industry is controlled by a company and their biases. Can you imagine the impact that would have on on our society if the biases of that company is going to be brought through? And you can go to any of the major networks today; they're all showing their own biases based upon their board of directors. You consolidate that into one company that could reach Well, it was the 39% rule. Now that would take it into the 60s and 70% rule. It's just crazy. And so one of the reasons that I stay a member of the NRB, National Religious Broadcasters, and I got elected to their national board. And it's not that I needed something else to do. I really don't. But I'm really concerned about issues like this, and in particular the regulations that come over the top of us. So I had Troy Miller on. Troy is the president of the NRB, and we chatted about this, and here's what he had to say.
I came from corporate America, and so I'll give, corporate America, they're in the business about efficiencies and how to run corporations and to make money. They're for-profit organizations. So I think a lot of them just see these mergers as a way for them to consolidate, make their businesses larger, become more efficient. But it's the implications of all that the federal government is supposed to step in and, kind of level the playing field.
Right.
It's interesting that for years when I was in the tech industry, there were constantly, lawsuits against Microsoft and against Oracle and against some of these companies, because they had become so large or they were bullying other companies. So, that's the government's role to step in and say that. We're not necessarily opposed to mergers, but mergers that don't have any safeguards for the hundreds of the other independent broadcasters out there, that's going to ruin the industry.
Well, and that's the problem we're looking at. I don't need to bore you with our problems. At least the NRB's fighting it, and that's good.
But, the subject of mergers, that whole thing, what do you think of this? We just lost Spirit Airlines because they were denied a merger with JetBlue.
Right.
Is that good or bad for the industry?
See, that's a classic example of one company rescuing another. Okay, the merger that we're talking about isn't one company rescuing another. It's one company taking over another country for the sole purpose of being dominant.
Okay.
And it's not that the airline industry doesn't have a lot of competition. It has a ton of competition out there.
Yeah. Okay.
But it could have been a debt to ratio of operational expense versus the ratio of its debt that it owed. And over the weekend, it pulled the plug.
Yes, and now we got stranded.
All the planes are sitting on the ground.
Right, travelers stranded, other airlines scrambling to pick up ticket holders and help them out, and it's a mess out there with this.
Now, in our own backyard, we have seen some media mergers. We have two of our local stations that are no longer local.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And and what Troy is saying there, I understand merging, I understand efficiency, I understand consolidation. We all look at it. It's called cost of operation. I get that. Okay. But on this here, where the motive is for another reason, you have to look at this. And I can tell you the smart attorneys know how to get around it. So. Attorneys are the only ones that go to the bank on Friday.
That's right. And you know what? they have billable time on the way to the bank because they're thinking about a case for somebody, so they bill them.
I know.
That's the way it goes. Yes.
So first thing I do when I call my FCC attorney, I say, hey, buddy, is the clock ticking? No, I'll give you this one.
Okay. Oh, no way.
Yeah. I ask him that every time.
Oh, that's good.
But on the other hand, you need people that are, in our business, everybody has an FCC attorney.
Oh, I bet.
And you can't get around it. I've had local attorney. I can handle it for you. No, you can't handle this for me. This is stuff you have to walk across the street, go to the commission and argue.
Yeah, I bet.
You're dealing with a federal agency, which is kind of interesting. All right, so much for all that nonsense.
Okay.
What else you got?
Well, I got a good one here. As a Boston, Massachusetts fellow was out running, and it turned into a life or death situation on the Charles River. Look at this. Hans Negrath was out with his 2-year-old dog, a golden doodle named Benny, when the pup suddenly chased after some geese and leapt into the water. With the river near 40 degrees, Benny quickly got into trouble. Negrath didn't hesitate. He jumped in after him. But within minutes, the freezing water began to take its toll. He said, "I couldn't move my arms. I thought I was going to drown." Still, he kept going, pushing Benny toward safety, refusing to give up. As both struggled, bystanders rushed in, pulling the dog to shore, then helping Negrath out of the icy water. Remarkably, both survived.
Looking back, McGrath says fear took over and he wishes he had called for help first. But in that moment, there was only one thing on his mind, saving family. And as for Benny, on the walk home, he was ready to chase geese all over again.
Sounds like Benny didn't learn anything.
Was Benny affected by the cold water?
Apparently.
He kept going for the goose.
Right. And he jumped in. His owner jumped in because he said Benny looked like he was struggling. And I thought, well, he's a golden doodle. So obviously there's some poodle in it. I don't know what a golden retriever, is that it?
Golden retriever.
Yeah. Golden retrievers are hunting dogs.
They're water dogs.
Yeah, exactly. Wait a minute. And duck hunters and goose hunters, their dogs go into the water in the cold all the time.
Yeah, should have let.
They don't dive in after their golden doodle.
Should have let Benny bring the goose back. Yeah.
Come here, Benny.
Yeah.
Come here.
All right, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 18. Take this with you today. Give thanks in all situations and circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you. Give thanks for everything today. Mm-hmm. Be thankful that you're above grass.
Amen.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You make everything glorious, and I am yours.
Mom makes everything a little better. This Mother's Day, let her know. At Grange Co-op, we've got beautiful 10-inch hanging baskets for just $29.99. Jumbo annual packs are $5 each when you buy 2 or more, and select denim is 40% off. Plus, join us for our free Paint-A-Pot event Saturday, May 9th from 10 to 2. Find more deals at GrangeCoop.com or just scan the QR code. Grange Co-op, your Mother's Day destination, now through May 10th.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
The threat of wildfire poses a growing risk to Oregonians. You can prepare now by taking 3 important steps. Create a home inventory, make copies of important financial records, and contact your insurance company to make sure you have the right amounts and types of home insurance coverage. Be wildfire ready by being insurance ready. Visit dfr.oregon.gov/prepare now to learn how.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of His care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and co-workers with integrity and genuine care. That's why McKelly's is automotive service with a heart for God and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond, but that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
The Dove TV, encouraging and informative for the Fresno Visalia area on new full-power KEDZ TV, seen on cable, satellite TV, and over the air. The Dove TV, encouraging and informative for the Fresno Visalia area on new full-power KEDZ TV. To all our mothers of all ages, a happy Mother's Day from the Dove TV, encouraging and informative.
Well, welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson, and one of the topics that comes up quite often is online safety. And boy, there's a lot to be concerned about today. I am so honored to have with us today Brent Dusing. He's the CEO and the founder of TruePlay, which is a platform creating safe, faith-based digital content for children. He's a seasoned tech entrepreneur. He previously founded what they call Cellfire, which was acquired recently for over $100 million. He also focuses on how digital platforms, gaming, and AI are shaping the next generation. And he's also been featured on major outlets like CNN, Fox News, ABC News, The Wall Street Journal. But now he's made it to the big time. He's on theDove. He does have a website, trueplaygames.com. trueplaygames.com, and there's a picture of the landing site. Brent, good to see you. How are you today?
Doing great. Good to see you, Perry. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for being there. Where are you? Where are we bringing you in from?
I'm in Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas. All right. Well, a lot to talk about. Is it true most recently that Google doesn't want you to have an app?
It is. You know, we just last week. So if you guys, for people who are listening, TruePlay is a fun, really groundbreaking entertainment application for kids, video games, digital comics, videos. Google rejected our app update because it says, I'll actually read from this directly. We got an email from Google saying, your app contains violent content which is inappropriate for the intended audience of your app. And so, and then when you show the offending image, I don't know if you can see this you can barely see this, but it's a cartoon image of Jesus on the cross. So we partner with the Action Bible. Many of you might know the Action Bible.
Right.
We have a picture of Jesus on the cross in a cartoon, and it says that content is too violent for children. It says, if your app is not catered towards children between 0 to 12, you may want to reconsider your target audience when filling out the target audience and content section in your Play console. Now let's look at what Google does allow. You might be able to see this. It's hard to see, but they allow ads on Roblox with literally pentagrams drawn in blood, dismembered bodies with blood all over the floor. They allow a game called Diablo to advertise, as you can see right here.
Yeah.
Which, of course, where Satan's the main character. So what Google's actually doing is preventing our app for kids from showing a picture of Jesus on the cross. It doesn't want kids to see that, but it's okay with kids seeing a pentagram with blood on the wall, blood all over the floor, dismembered bodies, games advertising literally about satanic characters. So what Google's basically telling you is they don't want your kid to go to church, because every church I've ever been to has a cross, and Catholic churches, as well as some others, actually have Jesus on the cross at those churches. So Google's really telling you that it's not appropriate for your kids to go to church. That's how dark, that's how evil Google has gotten.
Gosh, this is so much to unpack here. Is there any chance of an appeal?
Well, yeah. I mean, you appeal. This has been our experience. So for the last year and a half, Google won't even let us run ads. So we still have an app. We run the app. You can get it on Apple, by the way, without any problem. So if you have an iPhone or an iPad, you can use it with no issue. And you can use an older version of the app on Google Play, but they've rejected our latest update because of the Jesus image. Google also won't let us advertise. So we can advertise actually on Meta, on Instagram and Facebook, but we can't advertise on Google. We have appealed. And when we appeal, first of all, you talk to these bots that are not helpful at all, and then you talk to somebody really junior over there who tells you to change what you do. I mean, can you imagine if it was any other religion, the type of outcry that would happen? Can you imagine if it was another racial group or a group targeted towards a certain gender, how that would be received, right? If the app wouldn't be able to show really an image that's the most core image of our faith, right, is Jesus' crucifixion. So we have appealed. We've actually spoken to senior people over there who've told us directly they're not going to change their policy. So it's very clear that there's a dark, evil agenda. It's very clear that Google hates Christianity. We're not the only group that's been affected by this. There are other groups. AMAC has been affected by these types of things. We're working with 1792, and we're working with the ACLJ and quite a few other groups who've also been affected or have other people affected by these policies, these big tech platforms, and the way their AI systems are reading Christianity as dangerous.
Gosh, there's so much here. So let me dig a little deeper. What does this mean to your mission, this setback?
Well, I don't really look at it as a setback. I think it's just evil being exposed for what it really is, right? So our mission is to go transform the lives of children all over the world with the message of Christ, right? With high quality entertainment. So that's what we've been doing, and we're still able to reach people on Apple as well as an older version of our app on Google. I really view this as the mask coming off, and I really hope that this inspires a lot of Christians, whether they're people at home or whether people are people in Congress, which we've been spending a lot of time talking about this issue with congressional leaders or policymakers or people in the White House, to really take action. Because at some level, there's a hard discrimination line against Christians by big tech, and Google is the number one culprit right now. TikTok's done this as well. And so in some ways, it actually helps frame the mission because it helps people understand that, one, big tech really does hate Christianity. It really does hate your kids. And there are contrasts from people who are trying to do good things and uplift children versus those who are really trying to destroy them.
So with your background and what you're trying to do now, we hear bits and pieces how dangerous it really is for young people to be on these platforms. And you've obviously illustrated now what Google's biases are. So how bad is it out there for young people?
Well, here's some facts. So Roblox, which is a gaming platform over 100 million kids use every day, they're the ones who have an ad. They've run, millions of people have seen this on Google ads, where it's a pentagram in blood with blood on the wall and blood all over the floor and dismembered bodies. Roblox has other ads too with transgenderism for kids as well. Roblox is a platform that has that type of content. They actually had a game on Roblox. It got taken down, but it was on there for a while, where you could recreate a school shooting as the shooter. So there was a school shooting that happened in Uvalde, just not too far from my office in Texas, so they recreated that. There was also, by the way, a pentagram on the floor of the school shooters in the school shooting game, because that's really the source. It's a very satanic thing to do. And Roblox, they've had countless stories of child pornography, sex trafficking, children being abducted. Just back earlier this year, there was a kid named Thomas Medlin. He was playing Roblox, a 15-year-old in Stony Brook, Long Island. Last thing he did was play Roblox, walks out of his house, gets on a train. Nobody knows where he went. About 6 weeks later, they found him dead in a river in New York City, which is about 2 hours away from Stony Brook. So that's just one story. Roblox has multiple lawsuits coming against them by attorney generals from different states for allowing predators to be coming after kids, for not doing enough to protect children. And it's multiple states that have had this issue. So I would say that in certain platforms, it's actually pretty bad. Roblox is pretty bad. Now, not every video game is bad. There's a lot of benign games that are certainly fine. At TruePlay, we create games that are not only really fun to play and super safe. There's no chat rooms, there's no ads, there's no predators coming after kids. But we also are not just here to be safe. We're here to uplift the child. We're here to teach your child that, hey, you're fearfully and wonderfully made by God. Hey, hope and courage are a meaningful part of life. Hey, the Bible's true, and there's really a God who loves you. And that's a lot of what the message is inside of our games at TruePlay.
Wonderful. Recently, the jury found platforms like Instagram and YouTube to be deliberately designed to become addictive. And all you got to do is not find your phone and you realize how addicted you are to it. But are those cases going to help or go anywhere, you think?
Well, I hope so. I mean, the jury verdict was that they were found guilty. It's really going to be interesting to see, given that precedent has happened, because there are other lawsuits, at play. And it's very clear that big tech has been preying on kids. It's very clear that they're aware of the harm. I'll give you another example. There was a study that was made in the UK, which of course is a very similar country to the US, where they tracked teenage girls, and their exposure to social media. So if you show if a girl's on social media for more than 4 hours a day, she's something like 35 to 45% of those girls are clinically depressed. So anxiety, suicide, and depression rates have steadily risen over the last 15 years for children, for people under 18, at exactly the same rise as the proliferation of social media on smartphones. So social media has been shown to cause depression and anxiety. We're at an all-time high in our country on depression, anxiety, and suicide rates. We're at all-time lows on children believing in God without a doubt and biblical literacy for kids. Those things go hand in hand. So to answer your question, this has been a problem for a long time. A lot of people have been aware. I think, unfortunately, it's been swept under the rug because either not enough Christians have stood up or governmental officials, some have tried to fight it, some have, but others have been avoiding this issue for various reasons. And now that the truth's come to light, it's time for them to have to suffer some consequences for this.
So, Brent, what do these designers do to make it addictive? What's the formula that makes it so addictive?
Yeah, so it's two different answers. One's different for games versus social media. You know, social media is addictive, and there's a really good documentary about this that came out on Netflix a few years ago called The Social Dilemma. But essentially, you know, what social media often does, especially for young girls, is it just exacerbates peer pressure. You know, peer pressure is, I think, the second most powerful influence in the world after God. That's why people smoke. It's why they do drugs. It's why some people are self-mutilating because they find a group that they identify with. They view those people as their peers, and then they make these choices. So, one, social media exacerbates that. It puts peer pressure on steroids. It shows people their quote-unquote best moments or living their best life, whatever that's defined as, and turns the fire hose up on that so that's a lot of what you see. And then it programs content for you to see to keep you going and to keep you coming back for all of those types of very kind of addictive, but maybe destructive behaviors that have to do with, showing yourself off or bragging or just getting in a fight with somebody online. With games, the addiction is caused in kind of compulsive patterns. A lot of times those are compulsive patterns to spend. So to give people reasons to buy something, buy an item inside, buy a costume, to identify again with a group online so that you buy a costume to kind of show off or to get boosts or superpowers inside games. So the addictive levels are kind of built depending on what the product is, but there are people whose jobs, or actually their job definitions, is to increase the addiction rates for these products.
Amazing. One other thought or question along these lines. Of course, with these high numbers that they produce, it does draw attention to an advertiser. And is it possible that advertisers can be brought up for sponsoring this stuff?
I don't know about that. I'm not an attorney. I don't know I'm not quite sure about how that works. I would say that advertisers should not try to participate in things they think are destructive and harmful. I don't know that it's fair to hold advertisers liable. I mean, imagine if you put a billboard on top of a building that was, say, had a bar in it, and in that bar one night some guy got in a fight and killed somebody else because he got drunk. Is the advertiser with the billboard on top of the building liable? I'm not so sure. I don't think that's really fair. So I think advertisers should be careful who they advertise with, and they should take responsibility as citizens and try to do the best for children. But I think the liability actually goes with the platforms, frankly.
Yeah, I understand that. I know in the past you couldn't charge them with anything, but you could certainly give them a headache by being sponsors of such content.
Well, look at what happened with the civil rights movement in the 60s. I mean, a lot of the strength of that movement was boycotts.
Right.
And a lot of what, I think Christians have kind of sat by silently, where we've gone from, in the 80s, I don't know how much, if you're listening, you remember this, but there were parental warning labels. This is what's so profound. Al Gore's wife, right, Tipper Gore, who's a Democrat, was pushing for warning labels on kids. This was not a controversial issue. Sorry, warning labels on CDs. There was Two Live Crew. There were other, music groups that had really awful lyrics and content. So they put these labels on CDs, and the idea was to try to prevent young people from being able to buy CDs in these stores or let parents know what was really at stake. Contrast that to today, where literally we can't show a picture of Jesus on the cross in a cartoon setting, but you can show a satanic pentagram drawn in blood with dismembered bodies. And a lot of it's because Christians haven't stood up for this. They've continued to use products to pay for services that are driven by dark agendas that really have a destructive intent towards Christianity. And if Christians stop buying these products, these companies would absolutely change their policies, because Christians are, by the way, nominally 65% of Americans. So if 65% of Americans, if even a quarter of those, what's a quarter of that, 21%, stopped purchasing, stopped using these platforms, they would absolutely change, because their earnings would crater.
This is great. All right, let me take a quick break. Let me say to our viewers and listeners, check out Brent's website, trueplaygames.com. It is a platform created with safe and faith-based digital content for children. Again, it's called trueplaygames.com. There's a picture of the landing page. We'll be right back.
To all our moms of all ages, a very happy Mother's Day from the Dove TV.
When life feels heavy, your body feels it, your mind feels it. That is why I created Organic Elements Wellness Spa, a place where wellness is not a luxury, it's a way of life. Step into our wellness lounge with a Himalayan salt room, infrared sauna, steam room, and invigorating cold plunge. Restore your nervous system, detox your body, and clear your mind. Then experience customized massage, advanced skin therapies, and result-driven facials, all designed to help you look as good as you feel. There's nothing else like this in Southern Oregon. This is your space to heal, to reset, to glow. Call today to book your private wellness party for up to 15 guests, or surprise someone special with a gift certificate.
Visit Organic Elements Wellness Spa on East Main Street in Medford. Book online at organicelementspa.com. Wellness is wholeness. Voted best of Southern Oregon. To all our moms of all ages, a very happy Mother's Day from the Dove TV.
All right, welcome back. What an honor to have with us today Brett Dusing. He's the CEO and the founder of TruePlay, which is a platform creating safe and faith-based digital content for children. He's been around a long time. He knows what he's doing, and he does have a website. trueplaygames.com is the place to go. trueplaygames.com is the website. Brent, so much here. Thank you for your time. Wow. How is AI impacting young people today?
Well, it's exactly with this issue. So if you look at the images that I showed, that we just got from Google, right? Google saying, okay, number one, your app is inappropriate for children because it's too violent. Why? Because there's a picture of Jesus on the cross in a cartoon drawing from the Action Bible. But Google allows ads to be run and allows people to play these games and allows their app updates. Again, Roblox had an app update they allowed where they had school shootings that you could recreate. They allowed an app update where you could have a pentagram and blood with dismembered bodies. I don't quite know how the game worked. I missed that one. They allow Diablo to push their game, which, is about Satan. So that's okay for kids, but it's not okay for kids to see Jesus on the cross. Now, why? It's not like some guy sits behind a desk and pushes deny. It's that AI reads Christianity as dangerous. The reason we haven't been able to advertise on Google for a year and a half is not because, again, it's somebody sitting behind a desk every time we push an ad. It's because AI reads Christianity is dangerous and harmful. And clearly it reads satanic content or transgender content for kids, which is are there ads that Roblox has run, as wonderful, as beneficial, as things that kids need to see. So the real danger with AI is that very clearly with Google and TikTok, it hates the Christian worldview. They're AI models. In other words, AI models are programmed to have a certain level of values. If somebody says to ChatGPT, for example, should I commit suicide? Should I join the Nazi party? It will tell you, no, it's not a good idea, because it's been programmed to do so by the people who run it. The problem is it will also steer kids away from Christianity, as you can see, at least with Google and ChatGPT's AI models will steer people away from Christianity, little kids, and towards satanic, demonic, transgender content. So AI is a huge threat. It's a huge threat to children. It's a huge threat to the Christian worldview when it's run by people who have a very dark, toxic agenda. And that's why we're standing up and taking action. So there's a coalition of us, myself, the Billy Graham Association is involved, the ACLJ, some other great people who Gary Bauer from Family Values, where we're saying, listen, we can't have AI try to destroy the Christian worldview. If it's going to do this to a kid's video game, what's it going to do in a few years when you have determination by AI for who can speak publicly? Can churches still show up on a map app because maybe the Bible contains hate speech according to a leftist worldview? Will it allow Christian groups to receive electronic funds? There are certain Christian groups that were put on the hate group list, like Focus on the Family. Focus on the Family wants people to have children and have babies have a right to life. That's not a hate group. That's actually a love group, or whatever word you want to use. There's people trying to do the right thing. But they were classified as a hate group. So imagine AI blocking them from receiving electronic funding. There's all kinds of ways that AI can have a super destructive effect on not only our society, but especially on the youngest generation.
Well, that's underscored. I've been interviewing quite a few people who are professional Christian counselors, even professional Christian psychologists, saying that people are going to AI for some kind of counseling, and it's clearly void of any Christian virtues. It's just not there,
Well, the people who program these machines either view Christianity as something that's a silly waste of time, or they hate it. It's somewhere in that spectrum. And there's a really interesting historical parallel not a lot of Americans think about. Most people, because all of us, grew up with either the Soviet Union or Russia post the fall of the Soviet Union, basically under Putin or Boris Yeltsin's leadership. But people don't know, before the Tsar was overthrown in 1917, Russia was, since its inception, a Christian nation. For hundreds and hundreds of years, it was a Christian nation. And the Tsar was overthrown, who was, at least nominally a Christian, as far as I understand it. And then there was a power vacuum, and then after a few months, the Bolsheviks took over. The Bolsheviks were dark atheists. They hated Christianity. As a result of them taking over, they destroyed 95% of the churches, massacred priests. They killed. There were tens of millions of people who got killed in gulags. Alexander Solzhenitsyn famously wrote a book called the Gulag Archipelago, which talked a lot about it. But what a lot of the things that the Soviet Union did was it eradicated Christianity. And the point is, it was a small group of people who pulled that off. It wasn't like the Bolsheviks at the beginning, where the majority of people, or even 10% of the population, it was a tiny group of people who had power and seized power. What's happening with AI is it's controlled. Most of the big models are controlled by people, like I said, who they're certainly not Christians, and they either view it as a kind of waste of time curiosity, or as the worst thing in the world. And so most of the people running those companies and most of the people making decisions about the value judgments that the AI models make have a very destructive intent towards the Christian worldview. And that's why we have to stop it. We need legislation to protect America, to protect our civilization from AI destroying the Christian worldview. It's very possible. It's not ridiculous at all to say, hey, we need if AI is going to make big decisions for our society, then it needs to be based on our constitutional values. America is going to turn 250 in, I guess exactly 2 months. Today's May the 4th. So we've got to put in guardrails, just like we would for any governmental institution, just like we hope with our political leaders. We ask for our leaders to respect the Constitution. When you get elected president, you have to put your hand on the Bible and swear that you're going to try to uphold the U.S. Constitution. Well, the Constitution was certainly not based on leftist atheist values to try to destroy the Christian worldview. That was never the intent of the document or the Founding Fathers. So we've got to build that in to AI models if they're going to be making decisions for society at scale. And everybody agrees that's where AI is going, right? AI is going to be making big decisions it's going to try to make more and more decisions around resource allocation and unfortunately about who speaks publicly and everything related to social media and media in general. So we need to get some guardrails in that can keep our society great. And we're a great society because we are based on submission to God.
Boy, that's so well said. Thank you. Let me ask you this before we run out of time. So what do you recommend parents do? They know their kids are on these devices. They know they're going to the platform. How do they get them to try, say, TruePlay?
Well, if you want to try TruePlay, it's real easy. Just go to our website, TruePlay Games. You can sign up. We have a 7-day free trial. You can go directly to the Google Play Store. Yes, you'll get an old version, but you can still use it. Or the Apple App Store. Download it and try it out. We've got over 100 hours of content. We just released a new video game a few weeks ago. There's tons of games in there, digital comics. We have new stuff coming out shortly, daily devotionals, a lot of fun stuff for kids. We're releasing just beautiful stuff all the time. Everything we do in TruePlay is built to be fun. It's built to be beautiful. It's absolutely safe, but everything we do contains God's truth. Everything is based on a biblical foundation, whether it's a story from the Bible like King David's battles or stained glass, or characters, you can kind of see some of them behind me, that are that live in this fantasy world where the Bible's real and God is part of their lives, but they're battling real evil and they're dealing with challenges kids deal with today in a healthy and a constructive way.
That's wonderful. Do you think we'll see some activism on our behalf in the future, maybe legislatively?
I believe so. A coalition is building. There are many Christian groups who have been affected by this. There are a lot of people who care. I think people are starting to see the writing on the wall. There are politicians paying attention. Look, Dario Amodei, who runs Anthropic, which is one of the most successful AI companies, has publicly said there's a 25% chance that AI will destroy us. There's a very famous story about Elon Musk starting OpenAI because he was worried that Google's AI system, the founder, was going to really try to use it to destroy humans. And then he found OpenAI, then he left and had a fallout with Sam Altman. There's a trial going on right now about that. And so when you look, we've never had the leaders of corporations publicly say there's a real chance the product that we're building will destroy humanity. We've never had people say that. The only other time that's ever happened was the Manhattan Project, where they were, of course, building a nuclear bomb, but at least that wasn't a commercial enterprise where they were trying to sell it to the average person. So when you have the leaders of these companies saying that there's a significant likelihood it'll destroy humanity, we need to get in front of it and take action. I think there actually are some good people in Congress and the Senate who want to be responsible for the people that elected them, who don't want to be on the wrong side of history. And by the way, most of them might not be able to get elected if AI goes and shuts them down in 3 years because it might not like the things they're saying. So I think that we'll see some action on this. That's
so well said. Boy, you're just an amazing guy with so much information. We'll get you back. Let me say to our viewers and listeners, check out the website, TruePlayGames.com. There's a picture of the landing page. You can try it out for a couple of days and see if you like it. I think you'll find it to be really an amazing product to use, especially with your young people. Brent, you're fascinating. We'll get you back, and thank you for your time. God bless you. Stay in there. We need you, man.
Thank you, Perry. It's good to be with you. Appreciate your time.
Okay, bye-bye.
God bless you.
Being in business is challenging. At Network in Action Southern Oregon, we're all about real connection and real growth. We value your time with once-a-month meetings and believe in transformational relationships rather than transactional ones. We have 3 groups in the Valley, a Christian group, a Medford group, and a Grants Pass group, all filled with amazing local professionals. Network in Action Southern Oregon, so much more than just networking. Find out more at sonetworking.com.
The threat of wildfire poses a growing risk to Oregonians. You can prepare now by taking 3 important steps. Create a home inventory, make copies of important financial records, and contact your insurance company to make sure you have the right amounts and types of home insurance coverage. Be wildfire ready by being insurance ready. Visit dfr.oregon.gov/prepare now to learn how.
Washington Watch with Tony Perkins is your watchful eye on the nation's capital. Every weeknight, covering current events, issues of faith, family, and freedom from a conservative Christian perspective.
Washington Watch, thanks so much for joining us.
Bringing you up close to newsmakers, members of Congress, and prominent pro-family leaders from across the nation.
That's just the tip of the iceberg of the threats and the dangers that children are facing online.
Tony is the president of the Family Research Council, a former state legislature, ordained minister, police officer, and veteran of the Marine Corps.
Terrorism experts are sounding the alarm.
And welcome to the Washington Watch News Desk.
Washington Watch with Tony Perkins is your leading source for what's really happening in our nation's capital.
Well, this is a state issue. The federal government shouldn't be forcing these states.
Don't miss Washington Watch with Tony Perkins. Weeknights at 6, only on the Dove TV. Encouraging and informative.
Well, welcome back. A subject that we often talk about is nuclear non-proliferation and proliferation. So we are really honored today to have with us Ambassador Robert Joseph. He's a former U.S. Special Envoy for Nuclear Non-Proliferation, who served as senior national security roles under President George W. Bush. He was an Undersecretary of State for Arms Control and International Security, and also served at the White House as Special Assistant to the President and Senior Director for Proliferation Strategy. Ambassador Joseph also played a key role in launching the Proliferation Security Initiative and helped to lead the global initiative combat nuclear terrorism. And he's also known as for serving as the chief U.S. negotiator with Libya in 2003, helping secure and dismantling of its weapons of mass destruction. Quite the resume. Ambassador, so good to see you, sir. How are you today?
Good to see you. Thank you for having me.
You bet.
Great
Where are
to be
you?
with you?
Where are you? Where are we talking to you from?
From Alexandria, Virginia.
Oh, good to see you. Thank you for your time. Well, so much to talk about. How would you define nuclear non-proliferation?
Well, non-proliferation, of course, is policies, programs, capabilities that are all intended to discourage, dissuade, and deter countries from developing weapons of mass destruction, in this case, nuclear weapons.
How's it going?
Well, it's very mixed. The bad guys seem to have a real appetite for nuclear weapons. Many nuclear weapons as possible, as fast as they can. And you see it with Iran, which has had a nuclear weapons program for many years and is committed to continuing that program, I believe.
How much of a setback have they experienced so far in their nuclear program?
Well, I think it's been very substantial. In Operation Midnight Hammer in June of last year, 3 of their major sites, Isfahan, Fordo, and Natanz, were all struck and severely damaged. I think the program was put back for many months, if not years. Also, Israel in particular, as well as their program managers, and that will have an effect. And of course, the bombing under Operation Epic Fury has also targeted their program. That said, there is a facility which is called Pickaxe Mountain, in which they have deep underground tunnels. We know it's associated with nuclear weapons, and we don't have a whole lot of information about the damage that it has suffered. We also know that the regime had stockpiled a great deal of fissile material enriched to 60%, which is a short step away from weapons grade, enough material for 10 or 11 nuclear weapons. Where that material is, I'm not sure anyone knows. The president talks about it as nuclear dust, which implies that it's deeply underground, buried underground. But it's critical, as the president says, that in order to undertake counter or non-proliferation, we need to recover and remove that material, as well as end the enrichment program that Iran has conducted for over 20 years now. That is the pathway to a nuclear weapon. And this is a regime whose DNA suggests that they are going to have a nuclear weapon as long as the regime survives.
Okay, given that statement, there is no other alternative than to make sure that they are denuked, if I could be simple about it. We have to get our hands on that enriched uranium. We have to end the regime. I mean, we cannot quit now. We have to finish the job, or is that being too optimistic?
Well, I think that's exactly right. But finishing the job is incumbent on us. It's also incumbent on the Iranian people, because the only true solution, the only permanent solution, is the people rising up and doing what we did 250 years ago. Establishing their freedom, establishing the basic rights for their population that has long been denied by this religious dictatorship.
Do other nuclear countries see what we're talking about?
I think they see it. You'd have to be blind not to see it. It's certainly not in the United States' interest to have an Ayatollah with a nuclear weapon, and it's not in the interest of the international community. Now, you can argue that China and Russia, who are both nuclear powers, have interests with this regime, and those interests probably are more important to them than the non-proliferation aspects of this. But countries like Great Britain and France certainly see the threat. They've talked about the threat. They've talked about the need for Iran to give up its nuclear weapons, but they're not coming to our assistance.
What do you think of that?
Well, I am one who went to school, if you will, in NATO. My first job was in Brussels as the nuclear policy officer. I am very disappointed. My first job was deploying INF missiles back in 1982, 1983. The alliance stood together. There was tremendous political pressure, some of it, much of it inspired by the Soviet Union at the time, but also domestic political pressure not to deploy. But all five deploying countries actually went through with it. We deployed, and that gave the incentive to the Soviet Union to give up their SS-20 missiles. And you might recall the 0-0 agreement of President Reagan.
Mm-hmm. Wow. A little bit of a hypothetical question, Mr. Ambassador. Had we not stepped in at Iran when we did, and especially at the level that we are now, where do you think that country would go with nukes?
Well, that's a great question. The president made clear right before entering into Operation Epic Fury that Iran was just a few weeks away from having a nuclear weapon. And I think that had we not stepped in, we would have seen that. But I'd also caution about the future, and this goes again to the need to end the regime permanently. As I said, the pursuit of nuclear weapons is in the regime. And we have got to finish the job. We've got to ensure that they have not only an end to the weaponization aspects, but also to the enrichment capability.
How would you get your hands on the enriched uranium? What kind of a project would that be?
Well, there have been a lot of different options that have been talked about, from the use of special forces going in a non-consensual environment, in other words, fighting our way there. But I think that would be extremely difficult. I think the only way that we're going to be able to actually recover and extract that material is with the cooperation of the regime. And I think it's possible that putting enough pressure on the regime will lead them to agree, at least temporarily, at least at the tactical level, to give up their nuclear weapon program, to give up that enriched material, to even put severe limitations on the centrifuges. I know that there have been some speculation in the press about a 20-year pause, with the view not expressed that the regime can't last 20 years. That's very likely. I think this is a very desperate regime, and it's on its way out, as we've seen in recent uprisings. But we might be able to get that agreement again temporarily. But long term, the regime, if it's left, even remnants of the regime, if left in place, will re-embark on their nuclear quest. There's just no question. That's one of the lessons from Epic Fury for them.
Mm-hmm.
If they had a nuclear weapon, this likely would not have happened. And they know that.
It appears that the economic squeeze, the oil embargo there, is working. It's really taking its toll. Where does it leave the citizens?
Well, it is taking its toll. I think it's very effective. Oil is the lifeline of the economy. The internet has been blacked out by the regime for, 64 days now, which has a great impact on business. The supply line has been broken. And of course, inflation is at an astronomical level. So the people are suffering from this, from this disruption. But at the end of the day, if it weakens the regime sufficiently for the people to rise up once again, and they're prepared to do that. They have demonstrated that they're prepared to sacrifice the lives of thousands, in fact, in January, tens of thousands, to end this evil regime. And it truly is an evil regime. This is a regime that's been at war with women since the output. This is a regime that executes and executes and executes their opposition. They're on an execution spree as we speak. This is a regime that supports international terrorism. There's no redemption for this regime. There's no moderation. There's no moderate element, even though you hear that in the press. This is all about their religious ideology, which is a distortion of Islam and a perversion of the faith.
What do you think damage is done that they've done to themselves by lobbing missiles over to their neighbors?
Well, we will see, but clearly it backfired in the short term. The Gulf countries, the Gulf Arab countries, have been much more cooperative with us. They've been much more supportive with us, not just in the operational theater, but also at the UN and elsewhere. They've known for a long time, the Gulf countries have known for a long time that Iran is the principal threat, the principal enemy. Because the ideology that this regime spews is not internal Iran. This is an ideology that they want to export, and they have exported in the past to Syria, to the Hezbollah in Lebanon. This is a cancer that I think the Gulf Arabs recognize has to be cut out, has to be ended.
Is this the ultimate civil war between the Shiites and the Sunnis?
I don't think so. It might turn out that way, but the fact that this regime is Shia does not mean that they represent Shia Islam. Mm-hmm. This is a truly evil regime. And we've seen that with its actions over and over the course of, since 1979.
Yeah.
The murder of Americans by the hundreds of...
Right. All right, let me take a quick break. We'll come back with Ambassador Robert Joseph. What an honor to have him. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come right back.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
To all our moms of all ages, a very happy Mother's Day from the Dove TV.
Over time, every wall tells a story, but sometimes those stories need a fresh start. At Chris Silva Painting, we specialize in transforming indoor spaces, whether it's your family home or your business workspace. With premium paints, flexible scheduling, and expert attention to detail, we make the process simple and stress-free so you can focus on what matters most, living and working in a space you love. From bold new colors to subtle tones of sophistication, let Chris Silva Painting bring your vision to life, one wall at a time. Chris and his crew are courteous, they're efficient, organized, timely, and clean. Chris Silva Painting also offers military discounts. At Chris Silva Painting, our mission statement is to bring Christ's heart and principles to our customers and our job sites. We do that with honesty, integrity, and hard work. We don't cut corners, we paint them. CCB number 176097. Chris Silva Painting, 541-890-3960. 541-890-3960.
Mornings on the Dove covers important issues,
but we also take the time to have some fun,
along with encouragement, the day's forecast, and Jerry's Day in history.
So start your day with encouragement and information.
Join us weekday mornings on the Dove. Okay, welcome back. What an honor to have with us today Ambassador Robert Joseph with us today, former U.S. Special Envoy for Nuclear Non-Proliferation. What an honor to have you, sir. I want to go back to some of your days where you worked on kind of in both agencies, so to speak. You worked in the State Department and the White House. Kind of give us an insight how diplomacy and national security finally come together.
Well, as someone who has watched that and participated in that, I can say that it is highly dependent on the leadership that's provided by the president. I worked for 3 presidents, and I was honored to have presidential appointments under both the first Bush the father, and the second Bush the son. I had, from my perspective at the NSC staff, the ability to bring together the agencies on issues associated with arms control and non-proliferation. The White House would actually chair those meetings, would set the strategy, and would follow through on the implementation that would have to be conducted by the agencies, whether that's the Defense Department in the case of military affairs or the State Department when it comes to diplomacy. But there are other agencies that are also very important in the non-proliferation context. The Treasury Department, for example, played a very key role in denying proliferators the capability to use financial systems to advance their goals of proliferation. Other agencies were equally important. The Department of Energy, very key role, but primarily it was state and defense. And you'd mentioned earlier that the Proliferation Security Initiative is something that we started under President George W. Bush, and that led to a coalition of well over 100 countries that were committed to interdicting weapons of mass destruction, materials and technologies truly around the globe. And that was successful, but it was a true interagency team effort.
Well said. So, I have to ask you this. It appears to me on a global stage, we've never had, for a long time, I should say, we've never seen such a more consequential president in his international relationships and activity, and especially now as it works its way to Iran. Given your previous statement, it appears to me that Iran has to be dealt with. I mean, if there's two bad guys out there, it would probably be Iran and North Korea. And they both have nukes. And we cannot any longer give this a wink. How do you think the president's handled this?
I think the president has handled it very well. I think the president has shown determination and has exercised a very principled approach to the Iran threat. Again, if in fact Iran was, as he said, perhaps only a couple of weeks away from having a nuclear weapon, there was no choice. The president had to do that. But beyond that, the president has made clear that the Iranian people have not only the right of self-determination, but has encouraged them to rise up. He's the first president to do that. If you look, basically done nothing because they thought that they could negotiate an agreement. I mean, President Obama in particular, there was an uprising, thousands were killed. He said nothing about human rights, nothing about all of those things that that side of the House likes to talk about. They talk about it, but they didn't do anything. They were under this illusion that they could negotiate, and in fact, they did. They negotiated the JCPOA, the nuclear agreement, in 2015. But that was a fatally flawed agreement. It was an agreement that provided a pathway for Iran to a nuclear weapon by allowing enrichment, by not covering anything, having no restrictions at all on ballistic missiles, for example, no restrictions at all on providing terrorist proxies with money. In fact, the resources that Iran accrued from that agreement, billions, tens of billions, some say hundreds of billions of dollars, what was that used for? It was used for the nuclear weapons project. It was used for the ballistic missile program. It was used to support these terrorist proxies throughout the region, and it was used to conduct international terrorism by state actors in Iran.
A little bit hypothetical, but if the regime is wiped out and we're able to denuke Iran, where does it leave the Straits and who will run it?
Well, let me first say, if we don't take care of business, if we don't follow through, if we don't stay the course and achieve our agreement and achieve our objectives, Iran will have discovered that it now has yet another tool, a tool that can lead to the total disruption of international economics.
Okay.
And that can, of course, be very, very disruptive. If we do end the regime, which I think is absolutely necessary, there is an organized opposition. The Iranian people have demonstrated over and over again. And the Iranian society is a society that has a large number of Western-oriented individuals, individuals who understand and respect the need for their own freedom, that serve the cause of democracy and freedom. And I think that will happen in time.
Yeah.
What's important, in my view, from a diplomatic perspective, is we not throw the regime yet another lifeline, like Biden did, President Biden did, like President Obama did, like President Clinton did. They all threw lifelines to this regime, believing for whatever reason that the regime would become more moderate. Well, guess what? It hasn't become more moderate. And whatever gains that the regime received through those negotiations were used and turned against the people.
Yeah.
To build more capabilities for surveillance and for repression. And we've seen that over and over again.
Okay. All right, let me
on a permanent basis.
let me squeeze in one more question. How threatening is North Korea with a nuke?
Well, North Korea is top of my list in terms of national security threats because we are watching North Korea produce as many nuclear weapons as it can, as fast as it can. There was a RAND report out it was 2023, that said that North Korea could have 200 nuclear weapons by 2027. That's a blink of an eye. And North Korea will use those nuclear weapons to intimidate, to coerce regional players, particularly Japan and of course South Korea. But it will also use those capabilities to deny the U.S. the freedom to come to the assistance of our allies.
Yeah.
Because they now hold hostage all American cities. They have ICBM capabilities and nuclear weapons to strike any American city that they choose. We know that. We do have a ballistic missile defense, but it is nowhere near sufficiently capable to meet the threat. And that's something that we also need to address. The president is trying to do that through Golden Dome, but I have very little confidence that that's going to happen.
All right, I got about a minute to squeeze this in. Is North Korea to China what Hezbollah is to Iran?
I think the Iran-Hezbollah connection is very close. Iran controls Hezbollah through money, but through other means. North Korea is not controlled by China in that same sense. Yes, China is the lifeline to North Korea. I think providing 90% of its economic lifeline in terms of the international context of it. But North Korea is this crazy uncle in the attic for China, but a crazy uncle that has nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
One would think that China would be more apt to assist us in the non-proliferation role, but it hasn't done so. It's, again, very disappointing, but in a sense, not surprising given the communist nature of the regime.
Mr. Ambassador, you're fascinating. Thank you for your time. We value it greatly. God bless you, my friend. Hopefully we can connect again. And thank you for your service. Fascinating. And stay in the fight. We need you.
Thank you. I look forward to it. Very best to you. God bless you.
God bless you.
Mom makes everything a little better. This Mother's Day, let her know. At Grange Co-op, we've got beautiful 10-inch hanging baskets for just $29.99. Jumbo annual packs are $5 each when you buy 2 or more, and select denim is 40% off. Plus, join us for our free paint